to the Fandom Zone. Everybody, it is General Zod here. I'm coming to you a little bit later. Just got done seeing it chapter 1, but I got some exclusive footage that was not previously showed before. So I'm going to be probably doing a video of that with certain clips. Funny story, I actually didn't have to sign anything for those, so yeah, I'm gonna do a video on them and see how that goes. So you guys will get to see that. I might just do a couple like 1-minute clips because I don't know exactly how that all will play on YouTube, but on my Patreon page, I will release the full 6-minute clip of the entire scene for you guys to see. So I'll be dropping that link tonight, and you guys can go check out my Patreon page. And like I said, I'm going to have exclusive stuff on there that I can't necessarily put on YouTube because of this. So, anyways, tonight we have a special guest returning from the Lonely Island. The real deal non-imposter LB. Good. LB, what have you been? Where have you been in your lonely travels?
Well, I ended up on. First off, I was trying to be lonely a little bit, but then I ended up on a street called Lonely Avenue. Then that took me to a whole nother place called Lonely City. Then I managed to go to the Lonely Mall, which then took me to the Lonely Mountains. And then I ended up by the Lonely River, sitting there just watching the sunset and the river just go floating by. Nice, cool weather. So that's what happened. But now I'm back in the Fandom Zone. Glad to be back. And I've been hearing some things. I had an imposter, a fake, some felonious mess going on here, which I don't appreciate. But the real is back.
Oh yeah, we had an imposter lonely. We were confused for a little bit. Thought it might have been the real lonely Danter, but
no, man, never that.
we were like he's back from his travels, and then no, it was not the real lonely. And then we had Sean Stackhouse, and then we had Sean Stackhouse again. It was a crazy night.
But it's funny. It's so funny though, man. Like how you fell for the both.
Yeah. I mean, because I had a banner up and I couldn't see. I only saw the little thing. I didn't see the rating, and reasons. That was exhausting, man. It's been an exhausting week. For any of you that don't know, I've been working hella hours, and then on top of that, I had a screening I just couldn't pass up, and then I have another screening coming up as well. So I'll release that those details on that pre-screening when I get to it. It's an independent film, so a lot of awesome stuff happening. I've got a super chat from the Senate. It says, "Fuck you, retard, stupid mofo." Good to have you, Senate. We have Curtis YZ. How you doing? 'Tis an exhausting week. Yes, it is. Very exhausting. I actually had some exciting news. I closed out a big deal for my school today. I got one contract for like $1,500, and I got 2 contracts for like trials, so I can convert those later. So it's been a successful week, but a lot of grinding, building my school up. So
cool.
Yeah. My army of Cobra Kai children and growing, all part of the plan to take over the world.
It all makes sense now.
Oh yeah,
Mini
oh, yeah.
Zods.
Yes, little roundhouse kicking Zods. Think about how fucking scary that is. And of course, we have the Lady of Nuts and the person who came up with the topics but did not want to give herself any credit, Mad Squirrel. Go ahead and introduce yourself to all the fine folks.
Hello, Mad Squirrel. I'm on YouTube at Mad Squirrel, and you can find me on Twitter at SGT Mad Squirrel. You can find my YouTube link there too, actually, if you can't find me on YouTube for whatever reason. So,
And a
yeah.
super chat from the Senate I had to highlight. Congrats, Zod. Be warned, that's the only time I'm saying this, ho.
Aw.
Thank you, Senate. Love the Senate. Perp Minded, go ahead. We're glad to have you back. We had a lot of other people besides Perp on last night. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
You're Miss Perp. I'm no longer lonely, nor do I have stacks in my house. It's dope to be back.
That's what happened when you broke. When you're an imposter, bro, you gotta suffer the consequences.
Hey man, I was just trying to do the streets some justice. Didn't feel right.
Well, I can understand that, but now you don't have any stacks. So next time, think before you speak.
Awesome. And tonight we've got some more stellar topics, and I just cannot highlight enough. If you guys are not jazzed up about it, Volume 2, definitely from what I've seen, this shit is going to be off the hook. Even though the clip that I have is pretty much from, if you've seen the original television trilogy that came out, it was 2 parts, and it looks like they're straight up adapting the original television version that they had, just making it a movie. And this fucking director is just great. It was horrifying, very horrifying, very intense. And the director balances comedy and tension very well. I haven't seen Bill Hader in anything in fucking forever, so it's weird seeing him because he's like older looking, so like really weird. And James McAvoy is in there, and I always forget that chick who was at LB.
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain. There we go. She plays the grown up version of the girl there. So, yeah, I forgot how terrifying that movie was. I was watching it again. I had not seen it in theaters. I actually saw it when it came out, and I owned the Blu-ray. So, watching it in the theater was a totally different experience. And I like the fact that the movie doesn't use jump scares. It's just fucking scary, like ignorantly scary. So definitely go and see the and PB is trolling me. He said trilogy was 2 parts. Fucking Zod. Put that out there for everyone.
Oh my.
Whatever, PB. Whatever. And Rosetta Ellen says, at General Zod, dropping a like and some support from my stream. Hope your night is going boom as fuck. Thank you. So, anyways, we have some fun topics. Let's get to our first one, and it is Kevin Spacey reemerges for a bizarre poetry reading. This sounds interesting. So, yeah, let me pull this up for everyone. And LB, I figured out that through my screen share, I will be able to do Michael K. Because not only can I screen share, but I can screen share with audio now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This program makes my life so much easier.
Good to hear.
Yeah, kind of makes me look a little bit more professional. I know
Just a
that.
little.
I know PB is gonna sit there and troll me and go professional. I can't do his laugh. Kevin Spacey reemerges for a bizarre poetry reading. The embattled former House of Cards star and Oscar winner has once again reappeared because, you know, they put him in hiding with those fucking allegations that clearly I think were bullshit, because if any of it held weight, he'd be in fucking jail right now. But he's not. He's doing a bizarre poetry reading, so there you have it. Kevin Spacey has once again emerged under puzzling criticisms. The embattled former House of Cards star and Oscar winner who fell from grace in 2017 after sexual assault allegations against the American Beauty actor surfaced, made a strange public appearance in Rome over the weekend. And Spacey surprised museum goers when he set up at the Palazzo Nisosome. Did I say that right?
The what? Where are you at?
You probably didn't say it right, but hey, whatever.
Palazzo Massimo?
Thank you,
Massimo?
Squirrel.
That sounds right.
To perform a public poetry reading. The poem "The Boxer" by Gabriel Tenti centers on a dejected fighter who bemoans his cruel fate while bleeding out by the ringside. The more you're wounded, the greater you are, and the more empty you are, recounts Spacey, clad in a burnt Sierra suit, to a non-palsed crowd. Jesus, this is no doubt yet another autobiographical flourish from the disgraced 60-year-old actor who resurfaced last October in an unsettling video posing as axed House of Cards character Frank Underwood, where he used Underwood's Shakespearean oratory to denounce the sexual assault claims that began with Star Trek Discovery actor Anthony Rapp. TMZ has video of his latest public appearance, and you can click on that. Despite numerous allegations coming out of the woodwork from his former cohorts at the Old Vic Theatre in London, where Spacey once resided as artistic director, the two-time Academy Award winner had a major personal coup earlier this summer. Prosecutors shuttered a case involving an 18-year-old accusing Spacey of groping him at a bar in Nantucket, Massachusetts. Pinello Facebook poster and taxi driver screenwriter Paul Schrader weighed in on the video. Render into Caesar what is Caesar's. Render onto Apollo what is Apollo's. He wrote. What the fuck does that mean? Why have we returned to the place where we punish artists for their morals? Crimes, yes. Morals, no. Okay. Schrader seems to be suggesting we separate the art and the artist from his personal life. But that's tough proposition for much of Hollywood. In fall 2017, Sony exercised Spacey entirely from their film All the Money in the World, with director Ridley Scott swapping Christopher Plummer in Spacey's place. There are currently no films or TV series on the docket for Kevin Spacey, save a Gory Vidal Netflix project that will likely never see the light of day. Spacey wrapped production on the film mere weeks before the troubling allegations against him began to emerge.
Mm-hmm.
So, this begs the question of, who thinks that these allegations actually have some weight to them?
I do. I mean, I don't believe in maybe in every single one, but I definitely believe that there's some weight to them. Yes.
What about you, Albie?
I've honestly not paid enough attention to it. I mean, I know there's one, the one that was in the club and that was dismissed for a lawsuit. I think they're still doing a criminal trial on it. When there's so many allegations against a person, it's kind of hard to say, okay, these people are making it up. So all of them might not be true, but something's got to be true.
Right.
I mean, how many does he have? Like, I know he had like the school academy or something he taught at, or he did stage shows at, or something. Was accusing him.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of other people.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I don't know. When you have like one or two, and then you have one that's bullshit, more than likely the other one will be bullshit too. He's got several different allegations being brought against him from several different sources. It's hard to discount a bunch of them, but then again, we've seen people have a lot of shit brought up against them that was not true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trump, they be throwing stuff out there all the time, and it's all bullshit. So I don't know, but I have a bias towards Kevin Spacey because I just like Kevin Spacey. So I could just be looking at the actor and not necessarily the person.
Hey, you can still like him as an actor.
Exactly,
That's why
it's
he's
like
likable.
it's like that guy was saying, who was the director there, where he made that quote that sometimes it's hard for us to distinguish the actor from the person, or the role he plays from the artist. You forget that the artist is still a person. They still fuck up and make mistakes. I mean, one of my favorite actors is Kiefer Sutherland, but that man is like the king of drinking and driving. Like, how that motherfucker has a license is beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've watched some of his clips just for a laugh, like that one where he's at the mall and he's like, "I'm a pirate," and then jumps into a fucking Christmas tree. That's hilarious. So, I mean, but some people don't see him as that way. Some people will see him as Jack Bauer, one of the greatest characters ever created on television. So, I mean, it's people have to remember that the person playing the role is still a person, and I am under the belief you can still like the artist despite not liking what they do. Like, the whole thing with Michael Jackson, right? That shit that's going down, that went down with him back in the day, and all of those allegations, still didn't stop listening to Michael Jackson. He's got good music. So it's hard sometimes distinguishing the two. Perp, what do you think?
About the whole Kevin Spacey thing, or just?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in like the same boat as LB. I don't know that much about it, but who knows? There's a lot of weirdos out there. So
I think most of this, because around that time is the Me Too movement, most of this shit has been being drudged up. I don't know. The thing that pisses me off about this in particular is I feel like they picked certain people to throw underneath the bus.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like they did, like they're trying to take the focus off of everyone. So they're like, okay, you, and you are gonna get fucked over. It's like, how long have they been doing this shit? Who else is in this little happy group of sleeping with boys, sleeping with women, sleeping with girls, having crazy sex parties, sleeping with girls while there's drugs and crazy orgy sex parties? That shit all happens. I mean, this is nothing new.
That's
Hollywood
Hollywood.
is a cesspool of degenerate filth. And, this shit happens on a daily basis. So, I mean, if we're going to call people out, let's call it out across the board. You all are a bunch of corrupt, greedy, ledgerous fucks. I mean, there's very few actors or actresses that stay away from this shit and stay out of the public eye or aren't involved in some crazy nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
I want to point out a super chat from Geek in Disguise. So they just tapped a new writer to rewrite the Black Widow movie after it already started filming. Does anyone know anything about that?
I know you being trolled right now.
I have no idea.
Nah, I'm kept up with it.
Like I said, he's being trolled right now.
Post. Okay. Let's do here. I'm sorry, I'm in the background doing stuff over here. Apologies to the chat. Usually I'm chatting in there or I'm talking to people, but I'm just finishing up this here. Okay.
Okay, let me see. There is a couple of articles on this that I'm looking at right now.
I just told you, you're being trolled right now. Move on.
Let me see. So, oh my goodness. That's the okay.
All right. Catching up here. Are you looking this up right now?
No, I'm doing something else. There we go. Okay. I was putting in the banner for the next thing. Normally I like to put all of our topics in the banners ahead of time, but yeah, I'm a little late on that. So the Nightingale director Jennifer Kent wants to direct a Marvel movie about, what is that? Alba Gordon's superhero manifold.
It's a long ass word you're trying to pronounce.
What does that mean?
Okay.
And it's an Australian filmmaker.
Yeah,
okay.
She directed the Babadook movie.
Oh yeah. I knew it sounded familiar.
He was looking at it.
Babadook is a awesome horror movie. I like that.
And she's supposed to direct what?
She wants to direct the Marvel movie.
She wants to direct the Marvel movie. She's an Australian filmmaker. She shared with Indie 14A Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Too bad they won't make a Scarlet Witch movie. I think she would have done that justice.
Yeah, because Scarlet Witch is what getting our no, wait, hold on a second, trying to think. Yeah, Scarlet Witch, isn't she getting her own show?
Yeah, she should have got her own movie, but like, you could do like you can make that into like another horror movie.
Yeah, I'll see that because they're going phase woke. But anyways, adding to the growing collective of female directors taking on superhero films, Australian filmmaker Jennifer Kent is ready to throw her hat into the Marvel Cinematic Universe ring during a recent IndieWire interview about her controversial new film, The Nightingale. Now out in select theaters, the Babadook director spoke about offers she's received to take on blockbuster movies, but she has her own ambitions for the Marvel canon, setting her sights on one comic book character in particular. Interesting. The opportunity has been there if I really wanted to pursue that path, and it still probably is to some extent. I am excited about this. See, what the hell is that word? Alborginal Marvel character? Aboriginal. Thank you. Marvel
I was
character.
looking at the screen for a second. I was like,
Manifold. I've never heard. What? I've never heard of that. I read the comics.
Aboriginals.
No, it's the character's called Manifold. One I've never heard of. That's interesting. Said Kent, referring to the Aboriginal Australian mutant superhero, also known as Eden Visa, with the power to bend time and space in order to teleport. Interesting. Aboriginal character culture is the oldest culture in the earth. It's so sophisticated and deep. It would interest me to take that out to the planet. There could be some amazing story there. Kent paints a bracing portrait of an Australian Aboriginal culture in The Nightingale, a polarizing gut punch of a movie that follows an anguished young woman's quest for vengeance following a hideous act of violence brought upon her family in 1820s Tasmania. Underpinning this brutal revenge story is the backdrop of the colonial war between British imperialists and the black indigenous Tasmanians whose land is being ravaged by their occupiers. Kent was clear about why Aboriginal stories have been so underexplored in film history. The Aboriginal people haven't the means. They've had the talent and the wisdom and the wherewithal to make things, but they haven't been supported, Kent said. They're 5% of the population, but people have this impression of them being drunk or whatever, and it's not true. As with her sophomore feature, The Nightingale, Kent said she envisioned working with an actual Aboriginal population to realize the story of Manifold. You just can't go in anymore and not collaborate. I would never even dream of telling an Aboriginal story without guidance from an elder with that.
Come on, Zon, speed it up. I need like 1.5 speed here now.
Dude, I'm fucking tired. I'm trying to read as fast as I can. She said you've got to go to the source and follow the right protocols and show respect and be educated. Can't who's the Babadook become a cult hit in 2014, grossing more than 7 million, and even spawning a now iconic LGBT meme has been courted by major studios to direct. I did not entertain one blockbuster seriously, and I thought, yeah, I could give this something special, but then ultimately I heard about the way films are made and I thought it would kill me. She said, as it stands now, I've just wanted to make films like The Nightingale or Alice plus Frida Forever, referring to the upcoming 19th century lesbian thriller. The filmmaker added that what blockbuster projects
Wait,
is
what
on
about
offer.
lesbians?
What's that?
What about lesbians?
It's a 19th century lesbian thriller, Alice and Frida Forever. It would have to make me want to ditch my making independent films like that. When IndieWire asked Kent about being offered to direct the upcoming Black Widow, she said it was thrown across the table, set for 2020 by Marvel Tentpole, starring Scarlett Johansson as the Taylor Shield agent and KGB assassin is being helmed by another Australian woman, Kate Shortland. Also joining the superhero fray is Ava DuVernay with The New Gods and Dead Pigs director Kathleen Yin with Birds of Prey, both set the DC Extended Universe. Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman were released in the summer of 2020. Early this year, Anna Boden became Marvel's first ever female director with Captain Marvel. Okay, so I like this director, but some of that stuff seemed pretty crazy. I have no clue what the hell she was talking about. I've never even heard of that superhero, which is weird because I read a lot of Marvel comics. Manifold. That is interesting. So, what do you guys think about this more diverse directing we have for these upcoming film projects? I feel very empowered.
I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm excited for New Gods since you mentioned it.
Right.
I can give a shit about New Gods.
I mean,
So I asked you this earlier on. You ain't answered me. What is New God?
I did answer you. I was like, it's pretty much what Marvel's is doing with the Eternals, but it's the New Gods, like DC did it first. Like, because Jack Kirby and them, he went to DC to make the New Gods, and then he came back to Marvel and made the Eternals.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's like Dark Side and all that shit.
I guess.
Oops. Oh, I'm so tired. I put that in the chat. Let me try that again. So, what do you guys think about her directing a Marvel film?
This is a what's a way I can say this is a nothing burger. It's just like a director saying that it's just another person in Hollywood that wants a Marvel check, but it's like it's guaranteed money, guaranteed fame. So what I thought was cool is she's a Marvel fan obviously, but she wants to do a movie based on a character I've never heard. It's crazy, man. But it's just like whatever, man. I see what you're doing, homie. You're trying to get that Marvel check in your life.
Yeah, that's really intriguing because it's a character I've never heard of. It'd be interesting. I'd like to see it just to see what the character is about because I've never ever heard of this character, which really baffles me. Because
and I will be honest, I have heard of this character, but it wasn't like a consistent character that I remember seeing in the comic book store. So it was one of those like intermittent, you would see his character every so often. They'd usually put him in like like compilations of different superheroes, and he'd usually be more into the background. So I have a very faint memory of him showing up in other comic books, but as far as this, I know they have newer stuff for him now, but not in the past. So I am familiar, but I can't say I know the character very well. Let's put it that way. So it's just interesting how the climate has changed so significantly, where it's like, oh, we have to seek out all these things instead of actually just wanting to tell a story. The characters, where they came from, where they're going, and it's all. I mean, to me, it seemed like all she's doing is virtue signaling all the way through that fucking shit. So I don't know. it's just fucking.
Just by what she's making seems kind of like that. Like, I'm down for seeing that Nightingale movie because she does have a directing style that I like. But that other project seems very much like virtue signaling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just like, okay, a lesbian couple in the 19th century. What? Like, I guess. I don't know what you're trying to say there.
Right.
Because normally when film directors come out with films, they have a specific point to why they're making a particular movie or film. I don't know. I get some of the points of what she was saying, but I mean, yeah, it's a rich culture, but like, I don't know. Maybe people haven't made movies about them because they don't have a fucking interesting story, despite what you think is interesting. It doesn't play with the masses. Maybe some people have tried to make these kinds of films, and they're just boring as shit. I don't know. There's always a reason why things aren't made.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily because we're trying to oppress a small group of people or these people are seen as one thing. It's like, no, sometimes they're fucking uninteresting. Sometimes the story you want to tell sucks.
Everything doesn't need a movie.
Exactly.
Like, every character doesn't need a movie. Every side character doesn't need a movie. It's just like
You need movies that just make sense for the story you're trying to tell. That's all.
Right.
Stop trying to push some type of your agenda, whatever, into these movies and all this dumb shit. Just make a fucking
right. Like I thought that Dummy from the Iron Man movie was cool. I don't think there needs to be a Dummy movie.
What about the slew of characters that have dropped in and out of the MCU movies here and there that we never saw again? What, are we gonna get side projects for all their movies? It's like ridiculous.
I do think they should bring back Quicksilver.
I need a Pepper movie.
Actually, Pepper now has her own fucking suit. We can do it. Pops.
That's true. It's so true.
And I shit you not, I play the Marvel game. Her suit is called Rescue. There you go. That's the title right there. Rescue. Story of Pepper Potts. This shit'll be compelling. No one wants to see that. I mean, come on. It's like this bullshit with the Guardians movie and how they're focusing on Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie wanting the Queen. It's just like, is that going to be a major plot point? Why don't we give her her own movie to do this stupid shit? Why does it have to be in a Thor movie?
Tessa Thompson's never getting her own Marvel movie, bro. You don't have to worry about that.
I think this Jane Foster of Thor is gonna be a one and done. I think she's gonna die by the end of the movie.
Bro, I don't even think it's gonna be how they talking about it. It's gonna be some foolishness. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Notebook in space.
Right. And One Planet in chat says that the strong side of the MCU was telling few strong stories and step by step more. Now it's seemingly going to the dogs. True. It's all over the place. It's like a coloring book. A coloring book that's been covered in lead. It's just crap. Oh, God.
Yeah, no. Squirrel, if you wanted, you could probably send Terrence the link, seeing as
I
he
did.
reemerged
I did.
from his exile. I feel like he's been trapped in the fandom zone somewhere.
He's been in jail, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent him a link, so check your email, Terrence.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it's just getting ridiculous, and I'm getting tired of these directors coming out with their fucking wacky ideas. It's like, can't you just make a movie? LB, well, and Squirrel and Purple, of us, we're older. Do you remember the good old days when people just promoted the
Hey,
fucking film?
hey, watch it. We're not old. We're wise. Right.
Oh, but yeah, what happened to the good old days when people just promoted movies? They didn't promote their agendas. They just said, "Yeah, I got a new movie coming out. It's gonna be great. Go and see it." And then if they wanted to talk shit, they did it away from the film. And you were like, "Oh yeah, this dude's a bleeding heart liberal, but goddamn, they make some good films." Now it's like art and their bullshit is mixed together. You can't tell the difference between the two.
I mean, it's just to me, it's just more money now, you know. So it's got more corporate. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it seems like they've made the agenda part of the corporate structure. Like
Yeah,
they're trying to market agenda.
Yeah.
Good night to One Planet. He says, guys, I gotta go. Time for friends and wine. Cheers, and see you guys next time.
Enjoy.
Take care. Thank
Have
you.
But it's
fun.
but it's honestly just a phase, you know, because Hollywood always goes through these different phases. Who knows how long it's gonna last? But I don't think it's gonna last that long. Too much longer.
Terrence in chat said Jane Foster Thor has never been a popular thing. It was around for a few years and it didn't take. Just because there is a cancer angle doesn't mean she needs a movie.
Now they're pandering to cancer patients. I think that shit's crazy.
Well, I mean, look what they did with the first Guardians. Like, I liked the setup and the fact. I thought that was a very touching scene with Quill's mom being sick and the whole beginning there. That was some gut wrenching stuff. And
Yeah, that was different. It was a different start. Like they hit you right. Like instead of like drawing it out the first like 10, 15 minutes, they just hit you right there with like the death of his mom, and then he gets taken off on the ship. And
yeah, that's compelling storytelling. You can put stuff in there and have a good hook and have people go, well, shit, that's dark, you know. Up did it too. I fucking hate that / love that movie.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you first watch it and you're like, oh, they're so happy, things are going great. You know, he found his love. You see him through the years, and then fucking dies. And I was just like, is this a kids movie? Like, what the fuck am I watching? You know, I was like, felt like I had to have that talk about life and death after that movie. Watched it with my daughter. She just looked at me and she's like, that's sad. And I go, I know. And she's like, Dad, are you crying? I go, nope, I'm not. It's just dusty in here.
Disney's always got to throw some like dark element into their movies. You can't always have it just be holly jolly, fun time shit. Like look at Gabby. You know what I'm saying? Her mom died, right? It was her mom that died, right?
Yep.
Or something. Or shit. Yeah, she was crazy.
It's, you know, they've always done that kind of mixture of morbid life and death kind of stuff in their stuff. Wasn't it Bambi also? Fucking get shot in the beginning. Depressing.
Kind of funny.
Oh.
Okay.
And Chris Knight from the Real Reviews 3000 says the ego is coming. I will be having Chris on. Apparently, there'll be a special guest, ego. Jesus Christ, as if the ego can get larger. I was like, yeah, you know, but in the chat, we need like a separate space for you and your ego. It's like 2 chat boxes there.
I would, yeah, one of the, oh Jesus. Okay, so I think one of the things, like, because we had talked about it briefly earlier, and I guess it was the question, right? Should we talk about El Paso at all?
What?
The shooting that happened in El Paso.
Ew.
Yes.
I heard about that.
I mean, just because it is now, obviously, people are starting to come home from work because a lot of people are busy today on Saturday, and now everything is getting nasty, on Twitter. But it's one of those things we talked about briefly, but we, didn't really decide to talk about, even if it's just obviously it was a really horrific event that happened in El Paso, and I do live in Texas, and I live near the border, and it affects our communities all along the border in all border states as well, and never mind the country as a whole, right? But
Yeah, so I got the banner here, so let's talk about it. I don't see why not.
Okay.
I
I mean, I
covered
didn't
news
want to.
occasionally.
It was one of those things where you're not sure if you should talk about it or, if you should or shouldn't. I have no problem talking about it because it does affect us and everyone else too. I know for the people of El Paso, it was a really sad night. There's a lot of families that are mourning and families who just don't have answers yet. Maybe they don't know where loved ones are. But for those, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and talk a little
Yeah,
bit.
go ahead.
For those who don't know, there's been quite a few people that don't know, and that's totally fine. Uh, Hold on, I got crap. Chicago Tribune's a piece of shit. But I'm gonna screen share really quick the article so people can see what I'm reading. 1 second.
Yep. How's it going?
Hey,
Yo.
Hey,
it's
welcome
Shit.
back.
Damn.
and I'm gonna.
About damn time.
I'm just gonna pop over there here in a minute.
What's good, Terrence?
Okay.
Oh yeah. Not much. Yep. Just chilling. Yep. Yep. I spoke to LB for a little while earlier.
Okay. So earlier this morning, there was a shooting in El Paso, killed 20 people and 26 people were injured, and it happened at a Walmart. A young gunman opened fire in El Paso, Texas, shopping area packed with as many as 3,000 people during the busy back-to-school season Saturday, leaving 20 dead and more than 2 dozen injured. Governor Greg Abbott called the incident in the Texas border city one of the most deadly days in the history of Texas. Police said authorities were investigating if this was a hate crime. The suspect was arrested without incident outside the Walmart near Cielo Vista. I know I got that wrong. Cielo Vista Mall, and said El Paso Police Chief Greg Allen. The two law enforcement officials who spoke to the Associated Press on a condition of anonymity identified the suspect as 21-year-old Patrick Cruces. El Paso police didn't release the name at a news conference, but confirmed the gunman is from Allen, which is near Dallas. Many of the victims were shot at the Walmart, police said, and it goes on and on in the article. This is obviously like the most tragic thing for a lot of these families. From what I understand, 6 as far as Mexican nationals, there were 6 that the government had confirmed that were 6 Mexican nationals, and there were several others. 6, I don't think 6 were killed, I believe, and then there's several others in ICU, so it's not completely verified. As far as it being just one shooter, there's been a lot of rumors online that it was more than one shooter. I don't know if anybody heard about that. Obviously, that's not been. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of information. There's been some journalists that have come forward that were reputable journalists stating they were told there was a secondary shooter that was killed inside the Walmart, but nothing has been confirmed or denied at this point. They just claim that they have a shooter in custody that was confirmed to be at the scene. But some people said up to 3 shooters and stuff like that. So none of that is confirmed. A lot of it is rumor. There's been a lot of, I guess, reputable information that said there were 2 based on, their El Paso sources. And of course, we're talking anonymous sources, just like this article had. And in the end, I usually people wait a couple of days to say anything about it, and because you want to wait for confirmation and things. But if at the very least, it's just hey, the days to come. Everyone knows what to expect. It's going to be a lot of gun control, finger pointing. They started that today. I don't even know. I came in late in the afternoon, heard about it, so I had missed the whole initial when everything happened early this morning. So, and I know there had been a Walmart shooting earlier in the week in Mississippi. That was a disgruntled employee, and he had shot and killed 2 people. He was an employee of that Walmart, from what I understand, and then he shot a uniformed officer. So that could have been their security, or I'm not sure if it was an actual law enforcement official or not. But a lot of people were confused as to Walmart shooting. So my family included, there's a couple of people who were like, well, isn't that, wasn't that already early this week? I'm like, no, this is another one. And this one's obviously, both incidents are tragic, but this has just a lot of more families that are affected. So I don't know. Did you guys hear about this earlier today, or did you catch news about it, or?
No,
Yes.
I didn't know about it until you said something, but I've been asleep for 7 hours before I went back into work, so I didn't know anything. I was in a coma.
Actually, about 40 minutes ago on Channel 7 News, they have more information than they had, a few hours ago. They had showed an image of a white male, age 21, and he said that, well, they said that he had turned himself in, and he said that he was there to kill as many Mexicans as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And the thing is that there was a manifesto, right? It was circulating online. And at first, the police won't confirm this yet. I haven't seen any updates on that. But MSNBC had come back and said, well, yes, that manifesto is actually the one that they're talking about. And it was posted online 2 hours before the shooting took place. And interestingly, this guy supposedly drove 8 hours from Allen, Texas to El Paso. And during that time, the manifesto was posted online. And he did the shooting. Where they found him was 2 blocks away from the Walmart, in his vehicle. And the response time by the police to the actual shooting was 6 minutes. So there's a lot of weird timing issues. I picked up on this because I was just letting it run in the background so I could catch up as the news was coming in about, who was involved and what had happened. And it's just obviously there's going to be a lot of things filled in, and a lot of these miscommunications will be at least somewhat sufficiently explained. But with there's that many people killed, just like we had that Las Vegas shooting, which was absolutely horrifying, there wasn't a whole lot of clarity on what had happened there, and there was a lot of a lot of different stories that came out of that incident as well, and obvious reasons why, right? It's panic. But the guy was young. He just turned 21 last week. He has a twin sister or something. So they had actually, last thing I heard about his family was that they actually went to their home in Allen, Texas, and had closed down the street. And they were trying to, I don't know if they were going to serve a warrant or if they were going to, what they were going to do. But the police were there basically locking down the home, had not entered it yet at that time. By now, I'm sure they have, but I don't know. Have you heard anything else, Terrence, about any of that?
No, I actually caught maybe 5 minutes of it because my mom had it on because she always watches the news at nighttime. So she didn't know anything about it. She was like really shocked, and I had told her that I had heard about it so many hours before in short. So what I had heard maybe 40 minutes or so ago was the most that I had gotten at one time as far as information. So yeah, that's about it. I didn't really look into it because when I heard about it earlier, I was just kind of like numb to it, like I wasn't surprised or anything
Right.
like that. I'm like, of course another shooting happened again, and my mom, she had kind of like, I don't want to say a strong reaction, but I guess she was surprised, but it was just more of like she was like, Terrence, Jermaine, like, you guys hear about this? And we were both like, yeah, and then we just kind of stayed for a little bit and then walked away.
Right.
And then the last thing I said to her was like, humans are terrible, and then I just walked away.
Hmm. I mean, I think as far as like, I think as far as the manifesto that is going around online, I'm not even going to link it. I'm not gonna. You can find it very easily if you go to Google or even forums on different websites or even on Twitter. For the manifesto basically is like it's very odd. It's written very oddly, and there's a lot of weird stuff politically that he's not associated with either political party. Supposedly, he's against race mixing. He's against. He supports He said he supported the Christchurch shooter. And that
Wow.
he basically was in solidarity. And I was like, what the fuck? And and it just kind of went down all these very odd talking points on not just, let's say, extreme right, but extreme left also, in very weird things that he was terming it. He went from talking about Hispanics to Native Americans. It was very odd. And then he was describing the gun and all this weird nonsense. It was very bizarre. I was like, this kid, I don't know. It just seemed a little weird. It doesn't make quite a bit of sense right now. Let's say that. Because I guess the El Paso police actually had the manifesto because they had found somebody had sent it to them online. And during that time, they were actually investigating. This dude was doing the shooting. So they were trying to find out the source, and the source was already doing what he was objectively going to do, what he had said in the manifesto. So it's very strange.
Well, I mean, I did notice how, um, they try to use the whole, well, this guy was insane angle. And I get why they do that, but it's just, I'm like, there's always a reason as to why, humans decide to do this sort of thing. And it's not always the same reason that they will try to pin on the story, just to kind of cover it real quickly. And I guess to not in any way glorify the shooter.
Hmm.
But I'm like, there's definitely a build up and stuff. I mean, occasionally you might have the dude or the female that will wake up and do something like that, but usually it's a build up and something where they just like, all right, I'm going to do this and this is why, or they snap or something. So there's always a reason. So I know it takes time to try to look into stuff and figure out why said shooter did what he did, but I mean, the answers might be out there, but I guess people don't really care because they're like, this person's a monster, and it is what it is.
Hmm. Right.
But
So,
I'm like, you know what? This monster is also a human being as well. So I usually like to know why something happened, and usually we don't really get like real reasons because a lot of it is usually like some kind of an assumption. Because I mean, even if the shooter is still alive, if the shooter didn't get killed by the cops, in this case, obviously not, but somebody can say something, but then you might be like, well, is this person telling the truth or are they just saying stuff? It's really
right.
hard to tell.
Yeah. I know.
How about the good old days where we just called these guys what they are, fucking crazy? Especially considering someone who's got with a shooting that's racially motivated, they don't tend to switch it like that between different things. They're specifically targeting one group. I mean, we've seen different shootings or attacks where it's when it's race based, they very clearly name who they're targeting at. And then you just got people who are just fucking crazy,
Hmm.
just out of their mind. They just fucking
R-
snap and they go and they take their anger out on a group of innocent people and spew
Unarmed.
out a whole bunch of crazy shit because that's what's running in their crazy mind. And the truth of the matter is they're just nuts.
Yeah, we
Well,
have.
And every time there's an attack like this, then everyone comes out of the woodworks. They blame gun control and all this shit, and it's just like people are crazy. It happens, you know.
well,
You know what defends you from the crazy people? Guns,
well. I mean, if
knives, and
someone
other various weapons.
if someone wants to say to me like, "You look, Terrence, this person was crazy," it's not so much that I would argue with them per se, but I think that that's a very easy thing to say to dismiss a human being, like, "Oh, they're just crazy," or "Oh, they were just upset." I'm like, how are you just assuming something and applying a label? I mean, it seems rather easy to do that. And I'm like, that doesn't apply to every single person because you don't know if they were upset or whatever they were. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's so many different circumstances and stuff.
I get what you're saying with just labeling the people. I'm talking about the media spin on it. What they're gonna try
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah,
is use it for political spin.
I
And
mean,
as
right, right.
go ahead. Sorry.
and there's just a point to where the person was out of their fucking mind. See, people in the media are going to spin it like we need gun control and blah, 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 and clearly they're racist because they were, they screamed out they want to get rid of Mexicans and all this. We all see the spin that'll be coming, right? Well, just keep your eyes on the story as it develops. You're going to use it and manipulate it and do whatever it is they do because that's what the media does. And I see your point, Turks. There might be something deeper to what was going on with this person. Could be some shit you don't know about. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, for these media people, you got to boil it down to, hey, it's not an agenda thing. They were just out of their fucking mind. Maybe they had a deep-rooted reason, but I can guarantee you it wasn't grounded in some kind of like weird racist thing that they're gonna play up in the next coming days.
I mean, to add on to that, everyone's gonna have their opinion. I'm not really as emotionally attached and affected by this, to be honest with you. I know it sounds kind of cold-hearted or whatever. Like, it's sad that this happened and it's messed up. But like y'all were saying, the media is spinning things, and you got people online jumping into conclusions. Like, they're blaming the president, they're blaming gun control. Democrats are blaming Republicans. Republicans are blaming Democrats. It's like, look, people lost their lives. Like, have some respect for the victims, the people that lost their lives, the families, instead of making this a finger-pointing thing and political stuff. It's just like, look, if someone walks into a Walmart or wherever, all these things going on. If they're doing this, like, I see what Terrence saying. I see what God's saying. Like, these people are crazy. There is something mentally wrong with them. Like, you don't just have a bad day and decide you're going to go shoot up a festival, a mall, a shopping center, like all these crazy things that they're doing. Like, and people like, it's deeper than that. There's something is going on in this country that needs to be fixed somehow. Like, you can't just sit there and say, I'm blaming the president for racial rhetoric or something. Like, look, he didn't raise this kid. Like,
Right.
this kid had issues somewhere else in his life. Like, blaming other people for something he specifically did. And people don't know what exactly was going on in his head. They don't know what he was thinking. But all I know is his head ain't right, and you need to put the responsibility on him. Don't blame guns. Don't blame other people. Focus on him being a person that did something horrific, not anything else. And that's all there is to that with that. I mean, and even with the gun control stuff, it's like, look, man, like, I have a gun license. I'm for a gun. I don't think this needs to be assault, like these type of weapons out there for people to be able to have. But it's like, look, even if they ban these type of guns, people are still going to have access to them. People will still be able to get them. It might slow stuff down, but if people want to go do these type of things, they will find a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sad, but it's the truth. It's just like, just like
Right.
drugs, just like anything. If you want it, you will find a way to get it.
Exactly.
Playing to that point, LB, look at the days of prohibition, right? Government said, we're banning alcohol, that's it, right? And you had the birth of speakeasy and things like that, and these seedy shops. The mob made a shit ton of money. The mob almost made more money doing that than they did illegally selling alcohol. And you still had what there? The politicians and shit like that. And perp, for you, that's a shout out to Jersey, because most of that shit, the most famous ones were in Jersey and New York area and all that. But you had these things pop up all over the country, bootleggers and things like that. Why? And there was a great quote from that show Boardwalk Empire, where he says, as long as there's a need for it, no matter what it is, people are going to get it.
Mhm.
And
Right.
the consequences be damned, right? And that's true, because as long as people have a demand for a certain type of thing, legal or otherwise, they will find other sources to get that thing that they want. It's not always going to be the right way, but they'll get it. So when the government then made alcohol legal for purchase, those went away,
Mhm.
right? We don't have that problem that we had. Now, granted, we got a new set of problems that comes with, having these things. You have DWIs and things like that. But once again, that falls on the person. So if someone goes out tomorrow, they get a DWI, do you blame the liquor store? Do you blame the guy behind the counter selling the liquor, doing his job? No, you blame the individual for getting behind the wheel, buying the alcohol, drinking it, and putting him and someone else's lives in danger. It's the same thing with a weapon. It's the same thing with anything. It's not it's not going to be Congressman Joe's fault, the fucking president. The president didn't phone the guy and tell him to go and do it. So I don't even see how the fuck the president is a factor in this.
Well, even if that were the case, it doesn't change the fact that, like, say that human decided to do it. You are in
Exactly.
control of your own person. So,
Right.
like,
Exactly.
I remember saying in 10th grade in my history class that, like, you can't change the human condition. Like, there are certain things that you can expect, and I guarantee you are going to happen as long as you have humans around. Like, it's very simple. It's not anything to where you got to spend hours thinking about it. I'm like, you're gonna have problems. I mean, just look at how the world is and how things are unfair and emotions and people not getting the help that they need, and it leads to one thing to another, and then you get something like this. I mean, it's all part of the same old equation.
Mhm.
Exactly. And it's sad that it happened. It's sad that these poor people had to go through that. But instead of throwing all this blame on other people, why aren't we analyzing the person behind what happened, digging up what led up to this? What was the person going through? Because damn sure, as LB said, it wasn't just one thing. It was a string of things that led up to this
Too
tragedy.
too much effort, Zod. Like, you're asking humans to put effort into caring enough about a person to figure out why something happened. There's
Mhm.
no way that on average that humans are going to do that, because it's easier just to go, nope, let's blame this, or let's just say that this dude is crazy and we can move on. You don't really learn anything, you just don't care. It's just all about, putting something out there for people to digest, and then you get them ready for the next meal.
Yeah, I mean, when you had the shootings, for instance, in Columbine, right? It took how many years and documentaries and shit just to find out that those two kids were being bullied and shit. They weren't clearly all there. They had a lot of things going on, but when when the shootings first happened, they were blaming video games and all sorts of crazy shit, and saying that all of these things were a factor, and Marilyn Manson and a bunch of other things. And then when they got to the root of it, it was just the kids. The kids had issues. They snapped.
Oh,
They were they had, you know, troubles. They were being tortured and all this stuff, and then bam,
Well,
that, you know, you had a great tragedy.
well, Zod, that's not entirely true because like that shooting with Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold happened when I think I was in fourth grade. And I remember following that like very heavily because I was interested in why those guys did what they did. And the answers were right there from the beginning because the few individuals that they actually spared during that incident, one of which they told to leave before they started the shooting, and another individual that they let go in the library because that individual was actually nice to them and respected them. They specifically told the media that they were in pain and they were tired of getting bullied. Like they gave them all the answers, but they decided to paint them as crazy and they completely dismissed the information that they were given because they wanted to spin their agenda.
Well, yeah,
Let's
I
let's
mean,
focus on Marilyn Manson. I'm like, when they have these documentaries, like, man, it took us years to find out. I'm like, no, you had the information a long time ago because I had it a long time ago. You're just lying now, and now you wish to focus on something that you were given initially.
yeah, exactly. There's always reasons, but you know, we're gonna hear with this the normal spins, the normal bullshit that's gonna go on around. We're gonna see, as we are creators, we're gonna see other people talking about this and putting other spins and things to it. And you know, I say it's just one of those things where you know, let the information unfold as it does. Let the police investigate as they do.
Hmm.
Gather all the facts, and then find out what the truth is.
I was
And
sitting here looking at the amount of shootings, right, that we've had in general. Like I was just looking at dates and administrations to kind of narrow it down, not trying to say it's one president over the other or none of that shit. But out of curiosity, under Obama, he had 31 mass shootings during his administration. And then under Trump, we have seen now we're counting like it looks like four more people, like workplace mass shootings. This is including in the same this 46 under Trump, counting the one today. Not counting, I guess, certain ones in the media. Like it doesn't look like they looked at the one in Mississippi. So that one that was this, the first Walmart incident earlier this week, where that was the disgruntled employee. But there obviously a politics affects how society interacts with each other. We can't deny that,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So we see it in our media. We hear, it's rhetoric. Some of it is legit causes and necessary things that should absolutely be discussed. But when it's fed in a cycle and with anger or bitterness or a desire to separate people and label everyone and to segregate each other from one another, never mind by race or gender or sexual preference, but to start to blame certain groups. And I saw a tweet earlier that said all of the shooters in these, like Vegas and so on, Sandy Hook and all these were white males. And it said all white males are domestic terrorists, blah, 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 blah. And it was this huge thing. And it was by a checkmark person on Twitter and it spread like wildfire. And I was like, well, this is just great. So you have to ask yourself, why is it usually white males? Like that should be a
That's
question.
a good ass question. I have no answer for that.
I mean, there's different things that contribute to like crime statistics, right? Like age and where like someone's background. So, for example, white males usually are either younger or significantly older when they have these mass, like they do, like let's say murders as an example, because the FBI statistics are very interesting when you look at them. I read written a paper about it about just crime in general. If you're looking at certain groups, and it was specifically males versus females. That was what I was looking at, and as a whole it had males usually, let's say ages 40s to like 60s plus. That's where you see violent crime increase. or they're young, so they might be 16 to like maybe like late 20s as far as like the increase of violent crime. But white males were higher in those categories than African American males in those age groups. And I'm like, why is it white males that are having this? That, like I asked the original question that I don't have the answer to, but it was interesting to see the statistics on it.
Well,
At least on a
I,
baseline.
I don't know like why they're white, but depending on uh, which shooters you're talking about, like
Hmm.
I can shine some light on some of them, like specifically the ones that do it because they were bullied. Because I was an individual that was bullied heavily most of my life. So like I know what it's like to have that kind of a rage minus the idea of doing something like that.
Right. Right.
But yeah, so I can tackle those and do that.
Right.
Yeah, but if we're gonna go down that route, we also gotta talk about who has accessibilities to these weapons. How are they
Right.
getting them? You know, is there a particular family member that has these weapons, and then kids know the codes or whatever to their lock boxes to get in there, and you have that. I mean, did they buy them themselves? I mean, it's a bunch of other questions and factors that go into that
Well, right. Yeah, you got to
statement.
tackle each one. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like with people, everyone is different, man, and that's why I hate when stuff happens and people on social media, the media, they all act like they know what that person was thinking, what this person's personality is, because everyone is different. Like Terrence say, he was bullied. I mean, I was bullied, like, but
I was bullied.
right. But me, like, I never thought about shooting up this school or attacking these people, or I've never thought about killing myself and all that stuff. So like every single person goes through something different. Every person deals with things in different ways. So it's like people need to stop generalizing everything and just thinking, okay, so this happened, so this is why this person did that. You just don't know what anyone is truly thinking in their head.
Hmm.
Right, right. I mean, but that's why they call in experts, like to try to figure it out. I'm like, well, like I was saying, like if you want to tackle it case by case, like if you're trying to get these people to shine light on specific shooters and stuff, you need to get some people that at least have some idea of why they might have done it. Not so much that they would know, but like, you can't have this guy over here talking about like, yep, I definitely know why those shooters did it, the ones that were bullied, because I'm like, well, do you know what that's like? And then they don't, and I'm like, well, how can you shine light on something where you're not even in that general vicinity?
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
it's like you get someone who's specialized in that field or who has past experiences with that, and don't just get the guy who's like, yeah, I have a hypothesis about why this happened. It's like, man, is this your area of expertise? Can you say for certain? Have you gone through it? I know when I got out of the service and people said go to counseling, and I went to a counselor, and it's, you know, they have all the degrees, they specialize in whatever, but I'm like, you know, I had to actually talk to people who went through the same thing that I went through, because it's just like you look at this person, it's like, man, you weren't there, so how can you tell me how I feel about something?
Right.
You can give me a baseline of what you think is going on in my mind, but you weren't fucking there. You didn't see what I saw. Um, you know, you don't know the fucking temperature or what we're feeling, the anxiety, the angst. You don't. I mean, you don't know none of that shit. So how can you tell me what I was feeling at that specific time, or how I need to get over this and that?
And there's a phrase for that. What is it? Don't take direction from someone who hasn't been there. And
well,
if someone hasn't been there, it's very hard for you to say, "Oh yeah, I totally understand." You can't. Empathy is very different than sympathy. And, when someone has gone through something traumatic or they're seeking help, they want someone who has at least a fucking clue of experience. Okay. And not just someone who says, yeah, I read in my textbook. And that's a whole nother shit show,
Well, that's true, but like usually what I like to do is if I don't have whatever experience of the particular human that I'm speaking to, I like to just kind of, throw out possibilities. Like, maybe it's like this, and then I let that person,
Elaborate.
shine light on, yeah, shine a light on it and go into detail.
Mm-hmm,
And then
mm-hmm.
depending on what they say, then I will have questions and counter arguments and stuff like that if
But that's
something is
that's
not
the right
making
thing to do.
sense.
Well,
Right,
that's the
right.
right thing to do because you're wanting them to explain it to you, like, okay, well, is it like this? Is it like that? And have them elaborate on it, so that way you can go, okay, now I'm getting a glimpse of what you're saying. I'm understanding it. I may not fully, take it all in and go like, oh yeah, I feel you. Like it doesn't work that way, But
Right.
if you can at least get a glimpse, that's good because they're opening up and discussing it. Number one, but I think with all of this mental health discussion, it's like I guess what upset me out of this was the immediate call to call U.S. like males living in the U.S. are domestic terrorists. I'm like, you know what? These individuals are already having a hard enough time. That's probably why, whatever the circumstance, each individual was quite different. The last time we had a couple mass shooters. I think it was the one Sandy Hook and the other one at the Batman shooter. Um,
Yeah.
that was terrible too. All these are horrific, but they immediately were looking at the mental health, and these boys both had a form of Asperger's, which recently, with the last, like I would say, 7-8 years, they put Asperger's syndrome in with autism, like classic autism. So they call it the spectrum now, right? So they're immediately demonizing autistics around the board. And I'm not saying you should demonize any of these things, but that was their go-to reason at one point for mass shooters.
Right.
And I was
Because
like,
it's easier to
whoa,
do that.
right. And of course, that's horrifying as a parent because my son has classic autism and not Asperger's, which is a higher functioning, quote, form of autism. But it's a higher functioning, but they have a hard time with social skills, interaction, understanding emotions, sometimes of other people. Empathy's hard. It's not like the worst thing, but it can absolutely be the most difficult. But so when I'm, talking to parents, I had a couple of incidences happen because of that. My son is the most, I don't know how to explain this. He's like this soft spoken, goofy little boy. He's very small for his age. So he is not at all aggressive. He is not at all, any of these demonizing type things you would see. And he's not Rain Man either. Okay. I can't take him to Vegas. It doesn't work that way. If it did, believe me, it would be good times, but it doesn't work that way. But I had parents withdraw their kids from being friends with my son, say, "Oh, you can't play with him." And they would never outright say that to us, but it was quite clear in after talking to them, being friends with them, and then them
Hmm.
shutting down. And like as soon as they found out about it, it was no longer allowed. And there were some amazing parents out there who don't care and actually encourage, to have friendships. But this is why when you start to demonize a group, no matter if it's an autistic kid or, I mean, there's such a thing as internet autism versus real life autism. There's a difference. But real life autism is actually a real struggle. And online, I just like to refer to it as just moronics, just pure moronics. So with my son and how his friendships have, changed or not developed as they should, a lot of these groups I can see how if they're already feeling isolated or they're maybe being blamed for something, instead of reaching out and saying, you know what, let's get to these individuals in a positive way and get them intervention or the help they need, rather than shuttering them up and then just basically creating a ticking time bomb down the road by segregating them out of society, or just the fact that they're doing a whole entire group by color and by gender in such a, in my opinion, tragically sad and pathetic and narcissistic like way that our society has turned into. And it's sad to say this, But when I heard about the shooting, like you said, Terrence, it was like half of you is kind of like, oh, not surprised, but obviously very upset. You know what I mean? It's upsetting, but it's become a weird norm that shouldn't be acceptable in our society whatsoever. So,
Well, I should say that I mean you've heard me say this before, and not so much that you guys think this way, but I've said time and time again that I don't like humans, and I have countless reasons as to why most of the time. But that doesn't mean that I necessarily condone certain things. But I'm just like, when I see um, scenarios happening over and over again, I'm just like, I'm not surprised. Like you have to, like I have to really see something or hear something to be surprised at some kind of human behavior, especially like a shooting. I'm like,
mm.
it, I'm not surprised.
And isn't that a sad feeling? Because it was like, remember when shootings were, I guess, in a sense, rare, like mass shootings. It wasn't a common occurrence. Like I remember going to school and never having a shooter drill. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And now the kids, my children, have shooter drills at their schools, and they're full on shooting drills. And when stuff like this happens, I know in our community, because if it's anything regarding immigration, because if we have a high population of Hispanics where we live, um, the schools are going to be on high alert and lockdown mode. I'm pretty sure, because there's always going to be like fake threats towards schools. We've had a couple of those and things like that over time. But when something like this happens, it just adds a tenseness to when people are out and about, especially at a Walmart or at a grocery store, whether that's said or not, you can feel it. And it's a frightening feeling that people are being targeted regardless of their race. It's just the fact that any individual that's out with their family going about doing simple tasks are being targeted for political, ideology or some form of personal ideology that's just absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Well, I remember, I think it was, I want to say a month or two ago. One of the locations that I go to watch movies is Delamo Mall 18 in Torrance, California. And I was going to watch whatever film I was going to watch at the time, and I had my ticket. And like maybe 2 weeks before that, there was a shooting that took
Mm,
place in that mall. That's right in the area in which I go to the movies, because it's like it has a lot of different restaurants and things like that, and the AMC theater is on the very top.
mm, okay.
And I my brother was watching the TV, and I saw that there was a lot of the SWAT officers and stuff like that. And I took a quick look, and I was like, wait a minute, that's the one of the theaters I go to. So my mom heard about it, and she was like, yep, is that one of the places you go to? I was like, absolutely. And she kind of had that look in her eye, and I was like, look, mom,
Mm,
I'm like, this don't bother me one bit. I'm like, look, if I go to the movies or wherever I go, if some human kills me, then that's what happens. Like I refuse to live in fear due to humans, because
right.
I can't control everything. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, they can have all the security in the world, and the theater that I go to, there's a lot of security there. I mean, cops are there all the time, and that shit still happens. So I'm like, look, whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Hmm. Right. And you can't. That's the hardest thing. It's like when the school shooting stuff happened. I remember. I don't know if this was it was like for Lee, if you felt this way too. But like I remember when all the schools that I mean all the school shootings that we've had over the last several years, sending your daughter off to school or sending my daughter or son to school. There's a part of your soul that goes, oh God, like it's like you're very tense. It's a safe area, but that doesn't matter. There's nowhere is 100% safe. There's always that thinking in the back of your head as a parent, and
Right. That's
it's hard.
Squirrel. Like my mom, she felt just like you. Like when she would send Tremaine and me to school. I used to walk to high school, so
Mm,
it's just like
okay.
right up the street from my house, Carson High School.
Hmm.
So she would always say like the whole be safe and stuff like that, and she'd say caller and stuff like that. And I understood that, even though I'm not a parent and all that kind of stuff. But um for me, from my position of going to school, I remember them having, like, as you were saying, like the drills for the shootings and stuff like that.
Hmm.
My perspective of it was different in a sense that, like, I never viewed it as like something where I was afraid or panicked, because like I was one of those kids that I was mad going to school because I was getting bullied. So like it's not so much that I wanted that kind of stuff to happen, but I'm just like I had this whole, man, like fuck everybody kind of mentality. So like it just was different for me.
Hmm.
Me myself, I worried about it, but at the same time, uh, I I realized something, that the world is the way it is, and I got to keep these things in mind. But I can't necessarily um, be nervous to be able to have my daughter go out into the world, because just the way it is, messed up stuff is going to happen. I have
Hmm.
trained my daughter in various different things, probably more than other parents
Hmm.
train their kids, and I've taught her some self defense. I got called into school because she flipped someone over her shoulder. So I'm not worried when she goes into school. Now, if it's a situation with guns, I've even told her what to do, and that's get the fuck out of the area, find somewhere, uh, and hide, wait for help. You know, don't stay in that general area, and different tactics don't agitate the person. It's certain things that I've learned in the service, from when you're dealing with people who have weapons and different things you don't want to do and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, and I've also put into my mind too that if something did happen to her in one of these situations, that person better be one of them people who don't make it out, because there will be no place in this world they can hide from me. I will find them and end them. Disclaimer.
All right,
So,
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something from a Taken movie. But I feel like
oh
I
yeah,
feel like
oh yeah.
almost every parent is gonna say something similar, because my parents have said the same thing. Funny enough, Zod, in a more brutal fashion than you, but pretty much along those same lines. Because, like, I mean, but it kind of, in a way, it kind of pissed me off when they would say that, because I'm like, they were concerned about stuff that didn't happen, like versus like stuff that was, like the bullying. I mean, not so
Mm,
much that they weren't concerned, but I'm like, what about these damn bullies? You talking about, oh, somebody hurt my baby with a gun and stuff. I'm like, somebody's already hurting your baby. Nobody's
right.
doing a damn thing about it. Like, what about that shit?
Right.
The bullying stuff too. I mean, if we're talking about causes for different things, I mean, I've gone to several schools with my school, and doing what I do with martial arts, talking about bullying and things like that. And I do agree with Terrence, is that once again, you're not going to the root cause. They're going to these other places, but you're not getting the root of what the cause is, which is kids are fucking mean. And the way that we have this snowflake society set up, they're saying all the wrong things, like, oh, just ignore them, or don't engage, or be passive, and yada yada yada. And it's like,
Ooh.
no, that's not the fucking real world.
No, doesn't
Speak
Oh.
work
up for
that way.
yourself, defend yourself,
Hmm.
say something. Don't let some little prick, you know,
Well,
make you
eh,
feel like shit.
right.
That's how I
Like,
taught my daughter.
right, because that shit doesn't work when you ignore someone. Like, I remember saying, and it was like right around the time when I had started like my mental training, my physical training, and started doing martial arts. I was like, I told my school counselor, I was like, see, you're saying ignore them and walk away, yet I ignore them. Behavior continues. I walk away. You know what they do? They follow me. But I noticed that if you physically do something to someone, it might stop all the way, or at least for the moment, because I'm like, humans understand violence and power and money. Like that's what they understand. Like anything else is like, you got to be kidding if you think that that's going to work.
Oh shit! Morris said there was apparently another shooting in Dayton tonight. Oh fuck, man. See, I go off the internet for a few hours and looking at other shit, and that's what happens, right? It feels like that, doesn't it? You're like,
A separate mass shooting, or just like a shooting?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Because
No,
I
please tell me it wasn't in Texas.
because I feel
All the
like
shootings are spooky.
yeah, because I mean
It's in
shit.
Ohio. It's in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. Responding to a active shooter. I'll take a look at it and see what's up. It's just an hour ago, or 2 hours ago, excuse me. It seems like
I personally, I mean, I think this has to do because of Phase 4. I'm just saying. People are
Fate.
losing their mind. No, I'm sorry, that's a terrible joke.
No. Like you can't see me, but that kind of made me smile. Like I'm like, all right. Well.
They announced Phase 4. People started losing their fucking mind. Damn Thor, Jane Thor coming out. People were like, I can't take this shit. What happened to Infinity Wars?
People were going to blow their brains out.
See, man, they focusing on the wrong thing. I'm focusing on the positive stuff. They over here like, I'm gonna focus on this so I can get mad. I'm like, you go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, this shit is crazy. It all goes back to to the same bullshit, and it's like, come on, people, just cut it out.
Yeah, let's see here. It says police responding to active shooter incident in Dayton, Ohio. It's in the Oregon district. It says police in Dayton, Ohio said early Sunday they were investigating an active shooter incident in the city's Oregon district. Members of the public were urged to stay away from the neighborhood. According to local media, multiple people were shot in the Oregon district, which is a historic area with a vibrant bar and restaurant scene earlier in the night. Eyewitness videos appear to show people running through the streets as a rapid pop-up noise going off. Apparently, gunfire disturbs the air. It says the spokeswoman at Kettering Health Network, Elizabeth Long, which operates several Dayton area hospitals, including the medical centers, told HuffPo they were expecting and receiving victims from the shooting, though she gave no indication of how many, and nor were any of their conditions released. Dayton Police Department is currently investigating the attack and seeking witnesses. So that was within the last couple hours.
Yeah, see, it's
Copycat shit, man.
it's always gonna be this kind of stuff. I mean, I personally have never been a fan of guns. Like I know that there are uses for them in military and cops and all that kind of stuff, but I've never been a fan of them. I've always been a fan of like using your hands and feet or picking up a sword or a bat or something like that. Like let's like really get down versus like just come and start shooting
not
somebody.
gonna stop Florida man, Terrence.
No, I know. Like, no, I get that. That's why I said, I get the uses for it, but I'm like, I just, there's too many cowards that have guns, period.
Me, myself, when I was... Oh, go, Perp.
Now, I would say a lot of people carry around guns because they're afraid to get their ass whooped.
Correct. I've been saying that for a long time. Like, I've had so many humans say to me, like, Terrence, man, I'm going to go get my piece. I'm going to get my gat. And I'm like, look, man, how about we just fight it out right now? You afraid to get your ass stumped into the ground or what's up? But,
Stop him until find us one.
In Florida, I don't have to worry about going to get it. I can keep it on me as long as I'm not in a bank or a school or a government building.
That's funny as hell. That's funny as hell that you say that, LB, because I've had humans where they had a gun on them and they would lift their shirt up and shit, and I'm like, look, man, you either gonna use it or you're not.
Yeah, that's illegal. That'll get my license taken away. But yeah, I tell people straight up, like, look, man, I'm a grown man. I don't need to be fighting. If you feel the need that you're gonna rob me or try something, hey,
Feel froggy.
Like what?
I don't know.
I'm in my 30s. What I need to be doing fighting?
Just because you're lonely don't mean you're actually lonely. You know, you got something tucked. You know.
Exactly. I'm sitting right there in the waistline.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Body
individuals like
bags.
that. Like, I ain't gonna fight your ass. I'm just gonna shoot you. And that was also something that I was taught. Like, yep, like Terrence, not everybody's gonna want to fight you. They might pull out a knife or a gun or something.
Yeah, that's
And
some fake tough guys. That's some fake tough guys. That's a difference. Like it's a difference between like protecting yourself if you have a gun on you or some shit like that, or somebody just want to be showing off or like what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like,
That's
hey, you can pull that gun. I'm like, I hope you kill me, because if you don't,
that shot better not be a flesh wound.
Y'all ain't coming after nobody if they shoot you, bro.
Because I remember when Bruce Lee was
all the way
saying,
real now, bro. Like if somebody shoots you, bro, you're not gonna come looking for them unless you're going to come shoot them.
no. Like if they fucking shoot me, I'm coming after their ass. Period. Like if
Well,
I'm in the hospital.
So I know we talking hypothetical, but I'm just saying, if somebody shoots you and you're going to go after them, you're going to look to murder them. You're not going to look to shoot them back or fight.
I'm definitely going. Oh yeah, that would definitely be to murder them. Yeah.
Yeah. Making sure, because you got to remember, this person still has a gun.
You're right, but you're absolutely right about that. But anybody, and I mean anybody, can be caught slipping, and then that's their ass after that.
You're right, but I'm just saying, if I get shot, I'm not gonna go Rambo on somebody. I'm just gonna.
Right. No, you're right. You got to be smart about this stuff. You're right.
It pays to know your surroundings so you don't get caught lacking.
Right. But I mean, remember, and you know this too, Zah. Like, remember when Bruce Lee was in one of his interviews and he said, anybody can just pull out a 45 and bang. Don't matter how tough you are. Bullet's a bullet.
Yep.
Really,
Bruce Lee said he can stop a lot of things, but he can't stop a bullet.
Well, really quick, I do have some updates about the Dayton. It is a mass shooting. It says here, according to MSNBC, Miami Valley Hospital there has received 16 victims. At least 3 people were transported to another center. Also, according to the local CBS affiliate, at least 10 people are dead and an unknown number of people are injured. Eyewitnesses report the man was rejected entry into the bar before starting to shoot people in the bar. According to another eyewitness, there were at least 8 people dead right by the picnic table where I was on the street. A bunch of people were taken to the hospital. I don't know how many. This place is a disaster. So does the updates currently there in Dayton, Ohio. It was a shooting at a bar.
See, that explains it. That is there's not even like, you don't even have to do a psych thing or whatever. Fucking bar shooting. Someone got drunk, someone got stupid, pulled out the gun, shot someone else, bam.
Well, the question is why was he declined to go into the bar? Was it just because he was drunk, or was it because of his intention?
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll come to.
I mean, you got that, but I mean, anytime you mix alcohol and guns, that shit never turns out.
Yeah, it never does. A press conference.
Because he was probably drinking before he got there.
Maybe.
I'm willing to lay money on that.
A press conference in regards to the Dayton shooting is expected to begin shortly, so there'll be more information in a little bit. Fucking people and their stupid fucking gun bullshit running around. This is also, the gun control thing. Do I think let's just say for the sake of argument, we took all the guns away. Do you think for a fucking minute we're not going to have any gun shootings in this country?
Right.
No, you'll have a bunch of gun shootings that people can't defend.
Right. I mean,
you'll have a lot of casualties and fake like all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people they gonna take their guns. Without them going, like, saying there's going to be a lot of people dying if that happens.
I mean,
right.
They just got to do better background checks. I say ban these. Why people need AK-47 and assault rifles? I mean, what do they call it? The semi-automatics? Not semi-automatics. The automatic ones. Like, why do they need those? Why do you need army guns? Like, why?
I mean, I don't need one, but I have one. I mean, you know, if I'm attacked by a squad of people, might come in handy.
Yeah, I
Welcome,
mean, I
Sean.
guess, but at the same time, like for those type of weapons, they need to be having harder background checks and I don't know, make it harder so someone can't just go to Las Vegas and go buy one and then go home and go shoot people at a festival. You know what I'm saying?
Zod, I have to take a different stance on what you had said about it, you know,
Where did you
figuring.
come from?
Oh, you know,
Well,
the internet.
well, hello to you too, Sean.
Well, I said good morning, class, but nobody heard me.
No, you didn't.
Yo, what's up, Sean?
Yeah, sure.
What's
What
up,
up, what up?
guys? But you know, we've seen time and time again, man, that it's not just like localized to, but you can't just say, oh, it makes sense because people are drunk at a bar. I mean, what about the slaying that happened at that concert out in Las Vegas, man? People were just having fun. You know,
Yeah.
this is an epidemic that is sweeping this nation, and you know, I am 100% pro the Second Amendment, 100%. But I also think we have to be responsible when it comes to gun ownership. And I don't know what the answer is, man, because even, you know, the Democrats, and I don't want to get political on this, but you know, the Democrats, if they had their way, they would strip guns just like I believe Australia did. You know, but if some lunatic still wanted to get a gun and go commit mass murder, there's still ways to find guns, even if they were outlawed.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask y'all this. I know it. I'm not trying to really get deeply political. Congress is controlled by the Democrats right now, and the Senate
The House, yeah,
is controlled by the Republicans.
mm-hmm.
Now, whenever I bring up this gun argument to people, and I'm like, if these Democrats care so much about gun control, they control the House. Why won't they actually do stuff in the House? Now, the answer to that from everybody is, well, the Senate is controlled by the Republicans, so it won't even get passed. And my counter argument to that is, okay, so why are they so obsessed with impeaching Trump over trying to fire Bob Mueller over the Mueller report and collusion and stuff, knowing that it's not going to go past the Senate and get convicted?
Well, to part of your point, LB, you know, if the Democrats were truly all about gun control, during Obama's first 2 years of office, he had the complete majority. Democrat in the White House, Democrats in the Senate, Democrats in the Congress, and they did not do shit about gun control.
Right.
That was a perfect time for them to do it. But seriously, if they really wanted to do something, that would have been the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, then I guess from my perspective, it just kind of all sounds fake. It's like,
Definitely.
You're only talking about it because something happened. But I'm like, if you really wanted to do something, you don't really need to wait for something to happen. You would just get the shit done.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I can't go into specifics, but I can tell you certain programs are funded by things that are legal or not legal, things that are taxed or not taxed. And if you take those things away, then the certain programs wouldn't exist. And there are certain functions within the militaries and things like that, say special operations and things of that sort, that have slush funds and stuff, and they're siphoned from things that are legalized. And if you took those away, then you would lose that funding for that particular program. So all of this shit that you hear tonight, they're not going to get rid of it because someone somewhere is lining their pockets with this money. So they just like
it's all spin, man. It's all spin.
At ease, but it's just like the bullshit with the war on drugs. I've seen that get rid of the drugs, and you know where they wind up doing? They wind up using those drugs that they confiscate and stuff like that, recycling it to fund overseas operations, and then those drugs go right back into the system and they come right back over here. I fucking seen it personally. I mean,
Snowball talks all about that.
I've seen is amazing.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like what I said earlier, Zod. It's the human condition. There are things that you can expect out of a lot of humans. It's
Yeah.
guaranteed.
Just like pulling, when gang members and whatnot get drugs or they get guns that are filed down and things like that. I mean, those weapons are supposed to be destroyed, but somehow they get leaked out, or someone gets a hold of them, or whatever else. I mean, those facilities are pretty locked down. So that means that it's from someone within the facility that gets the weapons, that gets them back out on the street to make money. I mean, it's just, like Sean was saying, where there is a will, there is a way. You pay someone enough money, you can get anything.
From the chat, really quick, Chaotic Clyde said, "I bought a gun when I was younger on the street. It was fully auto and had a scope that would count the lonely banter's whiskers from 100 yards in the dark."
Damn.
You keep that away from me, Clyde. Sounds like you got plans for me, bro.
Yeah, I think instead of saying where there's a will, there's a way, you should probably say where there are humans, there will be evil.
Oh, for sure. 100%, because some people are just bad, man. Some people are just bad.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than some. I think it's a large amount, because you have the ones that think about doing horrible stuff, and then you have the ones that do it.
Right.
I mean, what about these?
I said some is still the right word, because it's not like most people, or even half the people, are bad.
Well, yeah, that's why I threw in the whole, you got so many that do it and so many that think about it. But I think the ones that think about it are pretty bad too, because what's to say that they won't do it one day based upon the right circumstances?
Well,
you never know.
I don't know, man.
Hold on a second.
I think about it, but
I think about it all the time.
I mean, you've heard my Brie Larson rants, okay? They're fucking criminal. Indict me then if that's the case, because I've said something.
I wasn't thinking about that, Zod, but yeah, now that you mention it, I guess.
There have been times when somebody has said something to me, and I'm a very mild mannered person. It takes a lot for me to get mad, but I remember one specific time. I forget what they said to me, but they said something to me, and just in my mind, I could envision myself choking the life out of them. And that's not something that I would do, but I thought about it. But there's a
choking
difference.
the life out of them, huh? I mean, usually I go so far as to beat the shit out of the human like that.
No. I was choking the very existence out of them, Terrence.
Or even put them in a coma or something like that. Break an arm or a leg or something.
I feel like we've all had
the life force was gone. The life force was gone.
I mean, I'm a very mild person too.
Yeah, right.
I'm never getting.
You probably have high blood pressure.
I mean,
why people get high blood pressure?
I mean, I would never go on a public setting and openly threaten people.
You did that on your YouTube channel when you threatened Brie Larson.
Which time?
But I mean, you gotta, to me, from my background, you would have to be a fucking idiot anyway to tell somebody what you're gonna do. You're supposed to just do it, not talk about it.
Oh yeah. Because if you tell them what you're gonna do, they're anticipating it. So you're not gonna be. Yeah.
I've always been a firm believer in what I've been taught is that you catch somebody slipping. They're on top of the world, and then that's when you fucking strike. They ain't gonna see shit.
I would tell somebody I got a knife on me, but then I end up pulling a gun out on them and shooting.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I will tell that person I have a knife on me when that knife is inside their body. Then that's when they can know, not before.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I had a knife on me. Now it's in you.
And oh god.
This is the disclaimer part of the stream.
Good thing you're not monetized, Zod. This replay would have limited ads immediately.
This conversation will be brought to you by the NRA.
Well, I mean, you know, violence
God.
is not the answer. You know, that's,
Hey, I'd be down for some NRA advertisement. That's some good money there.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it does depend, but yeah, it's not the answer.
Only if they like dug out one of the old Charlton Heston ads, you know, that'd be awesome.
There we go.
Hmm.
That's my
So,
disclaimer.
Wait, Zod, what happened?
about guns and sad stuff.
Oh, yeah. So we had another article here.
Mhm.
Lily Wachowski talks trans visibility and
I
rare
thought you was gonna miss that one.
Oh no! Squirrel just brought that up, and we had breaking news. But oh no, this shit is too good to pass.
Who the fuck is this?
On this subject, 'cause I don't want to mess up my future money, just in case they want to buy one of my movies one day.
He's like, I'm not part of this conversation. I was under
Wachowski?
duress at the time.
Do you remember the Wachowski brothers?
Yeah.
Oh, they
This
became,
is them. This is one of them now. Like both brothers.
Oh, the
have transitioned.
Wachowskis.
Yes.
Yeah, we call them the
No.
Yeah, they've
Wachowskis now.
transitioned.
They
The-
both
the-
transitioned.
both
They
both
took the
brothers
Matrix too fucking
Yes.
literal.
Yes.
have
they-
Right, right.
transitioned.
Yes.
Right. So we no, apparently it's both of them. We gotta
Yes.
call them the Wachowskis now, not the Wachowski brothers.
Correct. Yeah. They both transitioned to female
What
That's-
the
a while
actual
ago.
fuck?
Hollywood,
that?
man, they're losing their fucking mind.
I knew one of them did. I didn't know both. Like,
Yes, they both did. Their names are, let's see,
One
they go by
Mama.
Lily, and the other one goes by Lana, I believe.
yeah, I know.
They
Right,
were
right.
following. They were following me on Twitter for a while, and I didn't know they were the Wachowski brothers. And some of the shit they were posting, I just posted like, "You guys are fucking nuts," and I unfollowed them. So there goes my career in Hollywood.
Yeah.
funny.
Hold on one second. I'll put the.
Well, I'm glad they made the Matrix. So you know.
Yeah, but now, Terrence, imagine since they've transitioned, you know, a new Matrix movie, Neo's going to transition as well, and it's going to be a big fucking mess.
They're not going to be the ones to make it. It's going to be some random dude named Bobby Totem, and it's going to be a Matrix reboot. And that's
Bobby
how that shit would
Totem.
happen.
Where
Oh
did
no,
you-
no, I'm just saying if they were to still, you know, do the movie, you know, God knows if they do it,
Well,
because
I mean,
you know they've got breasts
I
and
don't think so,
estrogen now.
though. I don't think so. Like,
Their estrogen is going to make the movie much, you know, softer and kinder and cuddlier.
Oh God, that's what it looks like.
that sounds terrible, but
Yeah, y'all need to
Jesus
stop.
Christ, screen share moment.
Yeah, that's both of them now.
Oh Jesus,
Y'all
Mary
need
and
to
Wait,
Joseph, what the fuck is going on in Hollywood?
You
what
didn't
are you
know
looking
about
at,
this?
Zod?
Oh my God!
Well, I have another link in there that shows
Where's
both
the
of
other
them.
one?
That's only Lily.
Right,
then
right, right.
there's
Oh yeah. I've
Lana.
seen him before.
Look, I mean, it's like this.
Oh,
That's
oh,
You do you do what makes you happy in life, okay? But I mean, there's no surgery in the world unless you're born with like as a boy with very feminine, you know, cheekbones and physique and stuff. There is no surgery in the world that is going to make the average man look like a woman, regardless of the fact of them having a vagina and breasts. You know, Bruce Jenner looks like a man in drag. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
That's facts.
Well, in the end, I don't personally as biological female or biological female squirrel. I'm not like I don't care to a greater extent. I do have certain hang-ups on certain things because of safety or
Sure.
you know, just common sense things. I think as a female that you're taught from a young age about safety, such as, you know, dressing rooms and personal space and, you know, understanding privacy of other people. It's not about being transphobic or whatever you want to call it. It's just a safety thing as a female. It doesn't mean I'm less likely to be suspicious of other women either. Like I'm like that with everyone. You know, if you have a child, you're the same way. You're just protective, proactively, around your child. You're told as a young kid, there's certain places that men belong. They're in their own dressing rooms or their own bathrooms, and you have your privacy and your own bathroom, and it's just a safety thing. So then when they started making these unisex bathrooms and dressing rooms, there's incidences that are starting to happen. Now, do I think that an average trans person is a predator? Absolutely not. But the issue is that there are quite a few people taking advantage of that leeway. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it equals out like this, Squirrel. I mean, you have straight males that are predators. You have straight women that are predators. So it just stands to be assumed that there could be trans male and trans women that are predators as well.
No, absolutely not. They're all 100% angels. They do not do any wrong. They're like God's gift to humans. Perfect.
LB just wants to work with the Wachowskis.
I don't really care. I don't really care what humans identify as. It's just, to me, at the very least, I think that they should be honest with whoever they're with. Like,
yeah,
you should let a person know if you used to be something and then now you're something else. Like, especially if they're under the impression that you are what you are, and they oh, you're from birth, you're a woman. Like, no, like you need to tell the dude that, instead of like lying about it. Like, I don't like when they lie.
Yeah,
like,
you all do
honest.
a crying
Well,
game.
You know
Don't
what it
do
is?
a crying game.
Oh,
okay?
Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Forrest Whitaker was not fucking prepared for that, and we saw how that ended. All right? Don't do that shit.
Yeah,
I
don't
think
do that.
honestly, it's just out of being courteous to the other person. Not telling someone is the same as lying. I think that
Correct.
You know what I mean? So, like, you need to just have an open relationship and discuss those things freely from the beginning. So it's after they get to know you, and then have that discussion and say, okay, before it goes anywhere else, just so it's said, so it's understood, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm doing. And just so you understand that this was a former life for me, this is my current life now, and this is what I'm dedicated to, and make it very clear. I think it's just honesty. And
Right.
I don't mind if somebody wants to transition at all.
I don't either.
I don't.
I
don't
mean,
have any
right?
of those
You
issues.
just say that,
Just be
and then
honest.
I walk away at that point, because like, if I'm under one impression, and I'd be like, thank you for your honesty, but this is not happening.
Terrence, in most cases, like I said, unless they are born with practically looking with like a female physique, 9 times out of 10, you're going to tell that this woman was once a man, by her jaw, the jaw structure, or what have you.
I get that you're saying that, but let me tell you what happened to a friend of mine in school. There was this transsexual guy, and and like there was this transsexual guy, and no, like, he had long hair and stuff, and he was very feminine. And one day at nutrition, my homeboy, he saw this Jason dude, or whatever his name was, and he thought that was a girl from behind. And we were trying to tell him that, no, that's a dude or whatever. And he went, and he felt horrible after that. So yeah, it just that shit is terrible.
Do you still feel
so
bad about it?
he was a dude that was trying to be a woman?
Yes.
Oh, and so your friend like got with that?
No, he thought it was a girl from behind, but we knew that it was a dude, and we tried to warn him, but he thought we were just messing with him. And he goes up and taps the person on the shoulder, and then he turns around and he had a masculine face and all that shit. And we were like, we try to fucking tell you, man.
Yeah.
He felt okie doke.
Bad about that, Terrence?
Why would I be mad about that? It didn't happen to me.
It's you in the story, but you just didn't want to name drop yourself.
No. But like, that definitely can, happen. But I see what you're saying, though, Sean.
Yeah. And then again, on the flip side, man, I've seen some trans women that, I mean, I would have never guessed that they were trans, and they were hot as fuck. I was like, damn, you're trans? What the fuck?
on the internet, it can get hard to tell because you got so many filters. You got these apps that
No,
Yeah.
no. This was in real life.
real life. Oh no.
Yeah, this was in
Yeah.
real life. This was like I was in my 20s, man.
Always check for the Adam's apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you
No.
gotta be checking for stuff.
If the Adam's apple is covered, move along.
Of course, I was in my early 20s. I was at a place called the Shady Lady, and I may or may not have been intoxicated.
Shady
Just
lady.
off that
Oh,
name.
God.
Oh,
see?
shady lady.
The shady lady.
I was wondering why that lady was shady.
That's what caused the suspect.
No. To Sean's point, there was a time where I had gotten drunk with a couple of friends.
Uh-oh.
And he slept with a trans girl.
Yeah.
In New York. We ended up in Greenwich Village.
Oh my.
No.
Oh my.
Don't know how the fuck that happened. We
kissed
were
the
all
tranny?
drunk enough to not realize the bar we were going into. And you know, I was like, gosh, there's a lot of dudes and dudes who look like ladies. And don't get me wrong, that was a great fucking time.
So you had an American Pie moment?
Went outside of the bar and realized it was called the fucking Rainbow. But I was doing shots of tequila, so I hadn't really looked at it. But it was a great time. Those guys know how to party.
You bar
It
hopper.
benefits to your surroundings. Be aware of your surroundings.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Zod,
But
how many,
most
many-
of the time they do look like dudes though. So
yeah. But Zod, that night, how many male asses did you grab?
I got like 3 numbers. Oh man.
Top industry.
I was like, wow, this is weird. Why are dudes giving me their number? It's strange, but hey, compliment.
Because they wanted
I'm a vain person. What can I say? I take the compliment either way.
Zod,
there ain't nothing wrong with receiving no compliments, Zod.
No. But they wanted to drill for oil on your land.
Jesus.
I mean, you know,
Oh, God.
it is what it is. What can I say?
And a good time was had by all.
Especially Zod. He's never walked the same since.
Oh, I walk perfectly fine.
Yeah, for somebody who had been drilled for oil.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah, Kiana Clyde in chat says, hey, when I get hit on by a dude or whatever, I take that shit as a compliment.
Yeah, man. You know, it's no, seriously, it's all relevant. You know, I mean, if somebody finds you attractive and they're brave enough to say it, you know, take it as a compliment. Even if you're straight as fuck, you know, like, thanks, man, I appreciate that. You know, of course, you know, I'm straight, but I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come up and compliment me. That, you know, that makes me feel great.
Right. Big Pimp Daddy in chat says, shady lady sounds like a whorehouse.
That sounds
You're
like
not-
where you will get shanked at. Like
You're not completely wrong.
Oh Lord.
It was a strip club that Chris Knight took me to on my 21st birthday.
Did this strip club, was this attached to like a hotel? Because I seen them shits. Them shits is so.
It wasn't attached to a hotel, but there was like a big back room area.
Wink, wink.
Oh, shady lady had a shady back room.
Chris Knight took you to this place?
Yeah, on my 21st birthday.
Oh,
I can
shit.
see that.
Do I want to? Wait, how did he know about this place?
He used to DJ down there. He used to do live DJing down there. And so he's like, on your 21st birthday, I'm taking you to this
That's
shady
rough.
lady. Like, okay.
Oh, my.
That's tough.
A place where the man got a lot of tips.
Yep, sometimes in life.
Chat says, farts never made a sound again. Oh, you got a super chat from Big Pimp Daddy Palpatine who says, no, I keep Zod in a hoe house. He never walks. If he is walking, it's a clone.
Zod is the whole house.
Hey, I've got standards.
No, you don't.
They're very low, but they're there.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, where the fuck is PB, man? This is the second night in a row.
You know how the gingers are; they're always late.
Fucking leprechaun.
Oh my.
You find his pot of gold, he'll come out.
No, that usually comes with death. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's lingering in chat somewhere.
He's working.
Okay. Did you actually want to read the article?
No, that shit is long, and it sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Shout out to the Wachowskis.
Yeah, thank you for the Matrix. One.
Call me.
Did that great
I can
song,
call you.
8. They worked on V for Vendetta.
Oh yeah,
That was
great
it?
movie.
I love that movie. That was a great movie.
You couldn't tell by that fucking shit that they did with when he was throwing the knives and stuff. That's like trademark Wachowski slow-mo stuff.
Well, see, I'm not like a huge Wachowski fan, at least not to my knowledge. I've never followed their career other than like The Matrix. So
yeah, I've seen or most of their stuff. I haven't seen this new like transgender crazy shit that they're on, but
it's not crazy.
You know,
I'm sorry.
You know when they're sitting around like just after a hard day's work, drinking some white wine instead of beer, and they're just like clinking their glasses together and just reminiscing. Do you ever think?
Let me cut you off here, buddy.
All right.
Down. You're supposed to have red wine. Continue.
Oh, I'm sorry. So when they're relaxing with the red wine, just clinking their glasses, relaxing after a hard day's work, do you think they ever start reminiscing about the days that they had a dick and balls?
I have no fucking clue.
Chill.
It's like, hey, yo, remember when we made the Matrix and like we had male parts? Wasn't it fun? Wasn't it fun to pee and stand up?
God. It's between them and God. So
true story.
They go out to figure that out.
But I mean, I don't know that I would want to give up, the freedom to pee and stand up at the same time. That's a big ask.
I mean, I don't care to hear about this, but go ahead.
No, I'm done. I was just putting it out there.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Where do you find these topics at, Todd?
What's that?
Where do you find these topics at?
Today, Squirrel had dug them from the.
Look at him snitching! Wow.
Oh, I'm the one that
Zod would roll over on anybody in court.
Right. It by accident, like, whoops.
I didn't mean to snitch you out. It was an accident. I swears.
I plead the fifth.
There was all kinds of stuff. It was kind of a weird, slow news day. Tomorrow there'll be a lot more because it's Sunday. That's when the press kicks up again. So Sunday and Thursdays are usually when you get a lot of the big releases, if not Monday. But that's
tomorrow is Monday Shield Day, right?
Yes, it is.
It's chilling.
I don't appreciate how Zod threw you under the bus like that, Squirrel. Immediately.
Oh no!
I know.
No, it's okay.
After all she's done for his YouTube account, man.
I wasn't throwing anyone under the bus. I was asking a question. How is that throwing someone under the bus? It was like Squirrel murdered someone, and they said, "Where'd they hide the body?" And I go, "Oh, I know where it is."
Mm-hmm.
News articles. And they were very fascinating topics.
He made sure that a bus ran you over.
Yeah, he did. And then that bus.
I'm a super villain, people.
And LB,
away from
LB, that after that bus ran her over, it stopped, put itself in reverse, backed over her again.
Oh
Yeah.
my,
That's how Zod does things.
that's one way to.
Oh my goodness.
And all there
Going
was
to these
an airport.
fantastic places. Talk about
Well, you cracked all the nuts, so that worked out real well.
Squirrel brain too.
Oh my! No, I dodged that, but I still got my nuts got all cracked. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I dodged it a little bit, but I lost all the nuts. So.
my nuts got cracked in my second marriage.
Oh my!
Marriage.
How many? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bruh, ain't you like 34 around there?
I'm 41.
Oh, you old.
Damn.
Thought you was
Time
like
of
my age.
dinosaur.
Hey man, he's not much older than me, so.
Well,
Damn.
being divorced twice makes a little bit more sense. I thought you was around my age. I was about to say, bruh, you might not need to get married again.
Oh no, you're LB. You're absolutely right. I'm not. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, the first one would have worked out, but her family just was playing mind games with her. You know, if we could have gone off like somewhere by ourselves, I think we'd still be together. But the second one, she was just like way too like it's my way or the highway. You know, and I'm a passive guy, but you know, you got to be happy in marriage. You know, if you want to stay there. And I just wasn't happy.
So let me ask you this: where did you get her from? Colombia?
Did I what?
Where did you get her from? Colombia?
No. I got her from a town in Missouri called St. Joseph, Missouri.
The hell?
Yeah.
That
Chaotic
sounds like a funny
Alliance in
place.
chat. I lost my nuts in my second divorce.
Oh well, there you go.
And one planet said second marriage. You're screwed, man. That was
Yeah.
one planet.
You know,
And-
unless there's like this amazing woman out there, you know, because see, I've always wanted to have a kid, and I've never been blessed with that. You know, if I were to come across a woman who had like a child, you know, still relatively young enough, around 10 years old or so, and and that was something I could get into, you know, I would be all about that because I've always wanted to have a family of my own. It's just unfortunately I've not been blessed with it yet.
Well, I can't tell you that it will happen because, as you can see, I'm a lonely man.
I know it.
yeah, okay,
And you know, much like you, LB, I'm fine being a lonely man for the most part. You know, I mean, I'm an introvert. I talk to
Sean.
people online.
Sean, are you a lonely man or are you alone? Because there's a difference.
No, there's not. Don't listen to that foolishness.
No, I'm a lonely man.
Okay, no, I was just asking.
You know, I'm a lonely man in a lonely world.
Right,
Oh,
because
man,
when you're
that's-
lonely, that means
sorry.
you crave somebody else around you. When you're alone, it just means nobody else is around you.
No.
No. I'm a lonely man.
Okay,
You know,
okay, so you
yeah,
so
much-
you do
much
want
like-
that. I got you.
Yeah, much like LB.
Okay.
okay. So, Sean, you've been married twice, then?
Yeah, once I was my first one. I was like 22, and so you know, technically, when you get married that young, the odds are not really for you.
Right.
And the second time I was 30.
Oh. Well, yeah, because around 30 usually is like statistically it goes up a little bit stronger. Or some, you know what I mean? Like,
But here's the kicker, man. Here's the kicker. A year after I got divorced from this second psycho, I got cancer. What the fuck?
Oh, wow. I was going to make a joke, but I'm going to let you live.
So Sean, why do you want a kid? Like, what are your reasons?
He said his reasons.
Right.
Lee,
I've just always wanted a kid, man.
have you been married, Lee?
I've been engaged twice.
Okay.
Hey, Sean, think about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
My best friend, right? He's the same age as me. I'm like about to be 28. He's got 4 kids.
Yeah, yeah, I know, man. Like one of my best friends, they are two children away from the freaking Brady Bunch.
That's
You know,
crazy.
yeah, and so
Too many
no, man,
kids.
I could not be in a situation with more than two kids. I'm good with kids. I love kids, but if you
Would
give
you?
me like 6 kids, I'm going to kill myself.
Not gonna
Would
lie.
you?
Nah, one's
They're really
enough
cute.
for me.
Damn. That,
They're really
that's
cute, but
I'm good at
goddamn.
one. One's a solid number.
I have
Would
3,
you?
and I'm on my first. I'm like on my first marriage I've ever had, and I've been very happy and stuff. Like things are very chill, and we talk a lot. And things are, as long as you communicate, we're usually on the
Oh
same
yeah,
page and shit. But when things go, I mean, a lot of my friends already. I have one friend that's on her 3rd fucking marriage. I'm like, dude, like,
That
yeah. That's
man,
Well,
I've
it
never
gets
that's too
wanted
much
kids.
work.
and it's
it
because
gets
of
that's
her.
it
Like I'm
gets to
not gonna
the
defend her. I'm sorry.
no, well, it gets to the point with marriage. I respect the institution enough, to where I don't want to keep doing it over and over and over because then it
right.
becomes meaningless, And so if I find somebody that everything clicks with, I'm fine with just living together. That's cool, and then if things work out, like a couple of years down the line and things are still good, then marriage might come up then. But it's not something that is definitely on my mind at the moment or anytime in the near future.
Hmm. All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, Terrence. Sometimes in life.
That sometimes in life, yeah, I definitely no kids. No.
I don't know. I've been engaged twice, and from just the shit show of being engaged, um, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
but she was also engaged to you, so that was probably the majority of the shit show.
no, no.
Well, I've never
She,
been engaged. I've never had any kids. Never been married. Just a lonely
she,
man.
my ex, left me for someone she said she wasn't in love with, cleaned out our bank account, and then tried to take take my rights for my daughter by claiming the person she was currently with was the father, and then wanted me to walk out of the picture.
What the
So,
fuck? I mean, all you have to do is a freaking DNA test, and it's all good.
yep, that's what I had to do.
Hey, there's the leprechaun.
Oh,
Shit.
he added me finally. Been sitting here
Hey,
for a
what's up,
minute.
PB?
Oh,
Oh,
so I
Perp
can
just
only
left.
have 6 people because
It kicked out
Perp
Perp.
is in the waiting room.
Oh shit.
I told
did-
you could only have 6 people.
But guys,
How you
to let
doing?
you
How you
know,
doing, PB?
What's up, Terrence?
to
What's
let
up,
you
man?
know,
Glad to
on
know
Monday,
that your server hasn't been destroyed.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man.
Good night, Wicked and Friends parody.
Good night.
Good night, Wicked.
Oh,
Yep,
night.
Sean,
That's funny.
Sean, I
Perp's in the
remember,
private chat. He says, "Damn it, PB."
yeah, Sean, I remember my parents, like, when they were talking to Tremaine and me about the whole grandkids and stuff. I was like, you better talk to Tremaine with that bullshit. Yep, I ain't having kids. They just had that shock look on their face, like, why? I'm like, because I don't want them. Like,
yeah,
At least you know.
Well, I mean, it's
You know?
yeah, it's hard for bots to reproduce.
yeah, like I don't understand why they were so shocked. I'm like, they're like, yeah, but we want them. I'm like, so I guess you don't give a fuck about what I want, huh? Or don't want. No.
Basically,
Exactly.
it's not about you, bruh.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know.
It's about continuing the family legacy.
Nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Tremaine can do that.
I respect that, man. And, they're not for everyone. They're
Nope.
a big responsibility.
The Senate says in chat, Terrence, exactly. Fuck kids.
Hey, high
No,
five,
you
sir.
don't.
The Senate is a
Don't
kid.
fuck kids. That's bad.
Yeah, Zod would know.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Hey,
Oh my.
Damn. This shit
Shots
turned
fired.
fast.
Exactly. I was just gonna say.
That's how motherfuckers get killed.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to fly over here, man. Come on.
Oh, I will find you.
Good morning. Good morning.
But yeah,
Continue, Trek. Continue,
But yeah,
chat.
also Sean though, man, I got this lady at the end of my block, man. Every time I talk to her, she always asks me like, hey Terrence, when are you gonna get married? I don't know why she asks me that all the time. It's always the same answer. I'm like, it ain't gonna happen.
Man, I think that's just like some ladies are like that,
Why don't you just give her a number?
No.
Be like
You're
yesterday.
like, I don't know. When you gonna take me off the market, baby?
Oh my.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna say that because I have no interest in that particular individual. But yeah, I get what you're
It's not about
saying.
having interest, Terrence. It's about having fun with elderly people.
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna do that.
What?
I'm not gonna do
What?
that.
What?
wow.
Yeah,
That's so
that shit
dirty.
ain't gonna happen.
Oh,
Look,
no.
Terrence. If the field of opportunity is limited right now for you, my suggestion is to go get a sex change, and you're going to have an entire new world of
What
opportunity.
in the fuck is wrong with you, man? No.
You're just gonna. It's gonna be a small. It's gonna be a small little transition. You're gonna have a little nip and a little tuck.
You've been reading those Wachowski's articles too long.
people.
Where the fuck did Zod go?
What?
I think he left to add perp, so now we can do the show properly.
Yes,
Oh.
let's go. Anything goes.
So,
it's like, no.
guys, to let you know, Monday I'm going to be doing a review of Hobbs and Shaw in Streamlabs, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it via Skype. Skype you can import inside Streamlabs, and it's much more professional. So, I'll check all of that out, because if any of you can run Streamlabs on your computer, that's the best way to do these type of things.
Did you hear that, Zod? Much more professional.
Yeah, definitely have Skype. So,
and the best part is, guys, is the only person who needs to have Streamlabs open is the person who's hosting the show. Everybody else connects through Skype.
Right.
So with that said, you use Streamlabs, right?
Yes.
What in the world are you thinking that General Zod can run Streamlabs?
Oh, I know he can't. I know he can't. That's I wasn't putting this out towards him.
Oh, okay. As long as you know.
Be your friend.
Wait.
Like he can't even stream a YouTube video from his computer without running into problems.
I know, man. He's a hot mess. I know.
How are you frozen, LB? What is happening right now?
He's thinking about life.
No, he's thinking about ice cream.
No, but how is he talking and being frozen? What is happening?
I don't know. It's moving on my screen.
LB Inception.
This is just
It's not moving on the live stream.
Weird.
Okay,
It's not. Maybe
it's not moving. It's not moving on my small screen in the. Oh,
it's still. Yeah, it's still frozen.
Yeah, it just looks like he's thinking.
I mean, but what a great pose. Oh,
okay,
now,
there you
now
go.
It's back.
Oh, there goes up.
I might.
There we go.
There you go.
That was creepy as hell. I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
You were looking
he took a
thoughtful,
picture.
so
I thought that he took a picture of himself, fucking printed it out, and hung it in front of the camera. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be back in a minute."
Chaotic Light in chat asked, "Hey, did anyone know that they re-released the Golden Compass under the original book name?" I did not know that.
I don't even know what the Golden Compass is.
That's a freak shit.
Did you just say it's a book? I thought it was a movie. Golden Compass ain't a movie.
Now you
know. It is.
Sounds like some Sexual.
No,
Yeah, it
like
was.
it isn't.
Yeah, the film. It was released in 2007.
No, that was an abomination. I choose to forget.
Did Sean know you were kicking him out?
I didn't know I kicked him out.
Oh, because you can only do 6 people at once, I think. Unless you got
Yeah. Here, let me.
Sean's
This is
like,
funny shit.
this motherfucker.
Let's do this. Hold on. Let's see if it.
I just had to look at the screen and be like, who am I talking to?
Live stream.
Now we're down to 5. We lost a squirrel.
5 amigos.
Sad. Yeah,
No.
somebody, what does it say after your name, Perp? Oh, it's eyeballs.
And
Right. Oh, that's smoke.
Yes.
Your eyeballs
You said
emit
right.
smoke. Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I think you can only do 6 people. I saw that somewhere on the website earlier.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
you could
it's
just-
only 6 people.
You can have 10 people, but it'll swap through 6 people. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It said you can have 6 people in the stream. Up to 10 people can enter the broadcast studio. So you can swap people in and out.
I just said that.
I mean,
No.
that-
Bruh.
Okay.
My bad, bruh. I was just reading.
I think Sean just left.
did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What,
He
what
does
you
that.
sipping on, yo?
He just promoted his bootleg Hobbs and Shaw shit,
Hey.
and then
That's fine.
Oh god. Yeah.
oh,
talk
we
about
lost
Hobbs
your
and
count.
Shaw. Okay, everybody come to my channel, peace.
LB, what you drinking?
And he was wrong. The next episode is not the shilling. Tomorrow night is Sunday night.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Shillings
yeah,
on
that's
Monday
right.
night. What are we doing Monday night for the shilling?
Cranberry apple? Oh, that's just fine.
Yeah.
That's a good
Shit's
question.
Oh, never mind. He said the program booted him.
Oh.
I wanted to make some Hennessy, but the Walgreens liquor store was closed, so no Hennessy and cran apple tonight.
Oh, Lethal's
Aw.
in here. Hold on. I'm going to drop myself.
Final.
Boy, mate.
You hear Lethal? Can you hear us?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, Lethal.
What's up, man?
I am editing at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Fucking
What are you
Zod.
editing?
Sorry.
What are you editing?
A new video. I've decided to do this thing where every Sunday I'm going to release a video that actually has a bit more polish to it.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
So I'm hoping to have this one out in 5 hours.
I mean, you say hoping. Is that like it might be out in 5.5 hours?
It should be done. It should be ready to go in 5 hours. I want to premiere it, have it set to do a premiere.
Oh, yeah, the premiere. So-
Disclaimer.
Oh, you spelled Aussie right now. Disclaimer.
I mean, he had to do something right eventually. He did. I mean, he's done 2 things right. He spelled Aussie right, and he dropped himself out of the live stream so that Lethal Lightning could come in.
He couldn't pronounce aboriginals.
I know, it was fucking hilarious. I was laughing so goddamn hard. Oh my god. I was like, that was like last night. Milo who? And, I don't know.
Yo, Slasher heavy dive.
I didn't realize I was taking up the spot from Zod. I'll jump off so General
No,
Zod can
you
get back
don't
to his own
jump off. No, he's lurking. He's saying "fuck you, PB" with a banner.
That's
wait.
right. I got to work on this, but I'll leave it to you guys. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. Send my love to you all. You're all breathtaking.
Oh.
I salute you.
Thank you very much.
I'm glad I could take
Yeah.
your breath.
I'll talk to you all later.
Have a good night, Lethal.
Talk
Day.
to you later.
Yeah.
Evening.
See you later, man.
Oh
Watch out
shit!
for
Now
the
there's room for
Rose.
him to come back, isn't there?
Unfortunately.
See, the dogs don't like it.
Hi, Emma and friends and
Yep.
Raji and
The three dogs.
That's right. Nobody cares about the brown one. You ain't got to remember the brown one's name.
Aww.
I remember two. Two's good enough.
2 out of 3 is excellent. Can you imagine if you had that as a career batting average?
Exactly. I'd be like the greatest of all time.
Shit, if you even had that as a career field goal percentage in basketball, you'd be the greatest of all time.
Yeah, shoot. I would say completion percentage, but everyone's like throwing 75% now. You know,
Yeah, if you're below 70, you're doing something wrong nowadays.
Sports time.
Super chat from the Senate. And our replacement for Stevie J is gone. What the fuck?
I could be Stevie J. I could come back.
Oh my god. No, you can't.
I could turn to a black Australian or whatever, however you do the accent.
You sound like you sound like you have a bad Jamaican accent right now.
That was horrendous.
I'm trying to sound like Drake. The fake ass Jamaican accent. That's just
Bruh, I hate
I thought he had a Canadian accent.
That's just funny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh shit, he's back.
I have the power.
No, don't be yelling that trash. I hope Sean's
I thought
watching.
that was your new favorite show.
No, I still haven't gone past the first episode.
First episode of what? LB, did you finish all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I'm currently on episode. Let me see.
You can watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but you won't watch no anime? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let me see. I think I'm on episode.
It's Marvel.
Yeah, I'm
He's
on
on episode tired.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm about to wrap this shit up. I'm hurting.
You would be.
What are you yapping about, Zod?
You know, I just talk. That's what I do.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'm on
Sometimes I
episode 8.
Okay.
God.
Yep.
I
Thank
just
you for
watched the
having me.
season finale last night. It was pretty good. But
Is
I watched
series
it
finale?
earlier. It is not the series finale.
No,
Okay.
there's one more season left.
Next
Yeah,
season.
they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said next season is supposed to be the final season.
Yeah.
They're always saying that.
We'll see.
Hmm.
They've been
They
saying
have
that shit forever.
Oh,
now.
it's coming back for one more final season after that.
Hey, I will take as many final seasons as I can get.
All right, so I'm about to
Snow Dub in
wind
chat.
this
I'm
down.
about to touch my fingers together and say
Oh.
something menacingly.
Look at that. Snow Dub in the chat. He says, OMG,
Snow.
you people never sleep. No.
No, we never sleep. We tuck and roll.
Yeah,
Until 7 p.m.
Shut up.
Who are you talking to?
My woman.
My God bless.
Oh, I thought that
Property.
was odd. My bad.
No, it's a peanut gallery that I have here. You're in the peanut gallery.
That's so racist.
that's racist against peanuts and possibly elephants because they eat them.
The almond gallery? The pecan gallery?
Do squirrels like almonds?
Oh hell yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Do they like almonds with Hershey's?
Oh, absolutely. That's top
ooh,
shelf.
Yeah.
that's delicious.
Top shelf.
Oh, we lost someone. Who did we lose?
Terrence.
Terrence?
Not a big loss.
Oh.
Still got 2 other black guys here.
Oh jeez.
World domination.
So we got an equal ratio.
I mean, of course we lost Terrence. He thought that we had ended, and you were wrong, Zod. When you leave, it doesn't end because I talked to Slasher for like another 20 or 30 minutes after you signed off.
Oh.
Like Perp left, and then Zod left, and me and Slasher were sitting here, and I was like, "Can you still hear me, Slasher?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can still hear you. I can hear you just fine." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I fucking thought."
No, last time I ended it, it cut us all out, and we had to go to Google.
No, it didn't.
Remember?
No, it didn't. No, we all left you.
Oh, well then.
It didn't cut us all out.
Good night to
You
the
said we
Senate.
had to switch. Good night, Senate.
And also,
Good
You
night,
said we
Senate.
had to switch to.
Hold on.
Oh, and who?
Have a great day at school. And what is it? Monday tomorrow. Have a great day at school tomorrow. Senate.
Does he start school tomorrow? I don't know. Senate. Do you start?
Holy
He might
fuck!
already be
It better
gone.
not. Jesus.
I know. I'm pretty sure he's not.
Squirrels don't even start school that early.
Fuck no. Squirrels skip school. Don't be like squirrels, kids. Go to school. I have to force my squirrels to school.
I'll be skipping school any chance I get. Like I don't feel like going.
Oh, I
Sometimes.
never. I did
Chill.
skip school. That wasn't for me.
Oh shit.
More in middle school than high school. High school, it's just like I gotta deal with this shit.
When I was a senior, like I like legitimately didn't go to my classes. It was just like, man,
Yeah, it's such a waste of time. Such a waste of time.
like the teachers didn't care.
Right.
Whatever, man. I got my credits. I'm graduating. I'm good, bro.
Right.
Super chat from the Senate. Nah, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Hashtag fuck sleep, Snow Dub.
When I was a senior, I think I had 4 elective classes. Like I was a student assistant for like 2 periods. And then, like, yeah, man, I didn't go to class at all.
Yeah, a lot of people in my class, they had that. You go to school, and then at like 12 o'clock, you go to your job, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, school or make money. I'll make money.
Yeah.
Making money at school.
So that's why I can't read now. I just didn't go to class.
Those school kids need drugs.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, what were you selling? It wasn't candy.
I hated my English class senior year. That's all we did is read books. Like fuck, you know,
What
we're not
is
doing enough to
reading?
read books.
What is this reading?
Perp was like, why aren't we watching anime?
He's like, the anime of this book is way better.
I want to read this manga.
It's funny with my English class because like the stuff we learned when I was a senior, like I learned it in 9th grade because I was like in the international business magnet program. So I took like English honors in 9th grade. So like all the stuff I did in 9th grade was the 12th grade curriculum. So it was like when I was in there, I was like, man, I did all this stuff. This stuff easy. So he just let me go to like lunch and stuff. Oh, I'm a father, man. What can I say?
That's why I was like, some people that were in my graduating class, it ranged from like 17, but mostly 18. Sometimes you'll see a 19-year-old there because just some of them come from Philly and their school systems are different.
Super senior.
Yeah.
They'll fuck you like they'll fuck you because like it's just.
I'm not having sex with super seniors. What's wrong with you? What are you talking about? They'll fuck you.
They'll fuck you. No, I'm saying they'll fuck you. That if you're going from Philadelphia to Jersey, some school in Jersey or shit, you learn all this shit already in Philly. They don't give a fuck.
Oh, like some class that they took, the credits didn't count.
Yeah, they're like, nah, bro,
Okay.
we gonna put you. Like, you're supposed to be a junior. Nah, bro, we're gonna put you as a sophomore.
Interesting.
Sometimes I wish I would have known about some of these schools though. Like you could, there's some schools you could graduate early, like at 16 and shit. I wish I would have known about that. I would have done that. Just fuck about it.
Right. Then you could have turned into a purple man much sooner. At least I assume that you could have. It was the school holding you back. What does this say on the fucking screen?
Cat of Clyde. I was all about learning till I discovered boobs. Then I was all about learning about how to get with the boobs.
Oh my god. The enthusiasm. You're supposed to read comments that involve boobs with more enthusiasm.
Oh man, like, yeah.
Boobs.
He's got what? The butter's leaking down into your eyes?
Yeah, like my eyes got bags that have bags.
Oh,
It's called getting old.
oh my.
Fuck
Oh,
you.
it's called getting punched in the face by a child. He probably got punched by a child.
Mhm.
No, that was last week. Those fuckers are getting quick.
It was the
I'm gonna have
board,
to
wasn't
start
it?
going.
It was the boy.
I'm gonna have to start going greasy.
It was the unicorn board.
Oh man, the unicorn board. Let me tell you, that was surprising. I did not think it would hurt
Did
that much.
Unicorn see the footage of you using the board?
Yeah, she laughed.
I
Hysterically.
mean, everybody should have seen it now that it was on. I mean, it's on YouTube and it's on Twitter. With the little
Yeah, I
gif that
gained
Bert
another
made.
new subscriber after that.
I mean, you should have gained like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
what
like,
are you up to
10.
now? It says
I'm at
306.
305.
That's what's
No,
up.
no, you're not.
305.
You're at 306. 306.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Squirrel- that's
last
Squirrel
time I
on
looked, huh?
I'm halfway to 4.
5.
You're at 350.
LB,
that
how
means
close are
halfway
you
to 4?
to 5? You still at
How close am I to where?
to
5K.
5? Okay.
5K.
I am.
You gotta drink a whole bottle of Hennessy on stream.
I'm 119 away, bruh. No.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be when a lonely man dies stream.
All we're gonna see is one arm holding onto the desk.
Call
floor
the
is
lonely
lonely.
man edition.
LB. Why are you trying to kill the man?
Be like for 5,000 subscribers, I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
drink
be
this
like,
whole
I'm
bottle
gonna
of
be like
Hennessy.
the white girls be doing on Instagram trying to get some clout. I'm gonna fill a Hennessy bottle up with iced tea and drink the whole thing.
Oh
Yo.
my god.
Funny as hell.
Oh my god. Like I said, we're just gonna see you. We're gonna hear a voice. The floor is so lonely. Why is
Yeah,
it so lonely?
I'm on a lonely floor.
Somebody bring me a lonely ice cream.
Man, you really want me to die?
No, sir. My
Hey, I
god.
think you can handle it, yo. You'll be alright.
Oh my
I'll be
god.
alright. I ain't got health insurance right now.
Do
Yeah.
do a 4-hour stream and just be like, let me see how long it take me to just drink this whole bottle of Hennessy.
Oh well, I mean for a whole stream.
Yeah, I'm not talking.
But
I'm not talking about like a whole shoe nice, like chug the whole shit. Like
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you just keep streaming and like until the bottle's done.
yeah, I could do that. I thought you meant like chug it. No, bro.
Chaotic Clyde says, if you do that, I will join you, the Lonely Banter.
I mean, you should already have joined me.
I will drink a 5th of Jack, you said.
That's the man right there, Jack. That's where it's at.
A
I
fucking
would
cap.
never drink the whole fucking thing on stream. I'm not ready to die yet.
I don't think the world's ready to see a lonely man drunk on the live stream.
Yeah,
Be
man,
a
like
whole-
200
whole nother
No,
RD.
first do one where you're drunk in a video and we'll see how it goes.
If I'm drunk on the live stream, I'll probably be live streaming all night.
You got one eye open and shit.
Okay. Now we're going to the chat.
Serious, I won't stop talking. I'll talk all night.
I brought Mr. Hennessy. He's my best friend. He starts talking to the bottles and shit, having a conversation like a round table
I
discussion.
used to be lonely, but then I got my friends called these bottles.
Jack and
Hennessy.
Mr. Hennessy.
I ain't like that, but I'll just start I'll just be talking. Like I'll
Wait, why is Terrence in the chat but not in here?
I don't know. He popped out
Why
so
is he
fast.
being a weirdo? Terrence, why are you being a weirdo? Answer me. I know you can hear me.
I was originally wrapping this up, and then we started talking about lonely dying on a live stream. So
It's terrible.
Dying alone.
Kirk apparently wants to take him out so he can assume his identity.
LB, did you watch any of Imposter LB from the stream yesterday?
I saw a minute of it. He sent me the link like right before I started live streaming earlier. So I ain't watch it. And then after the live stream, I started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's all I was watching all night.
That's not a bad choice.
Bizarro LB will be back whenever LB is not around.
God, and Clyde said I can down a fifth and wash it down with a 6-pack of Budweiser. Holy
I don't even know what a fifth is, man.
A fifth of Jack.
A fifth of a full-size bottle.
A full-size bottle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like...
It's like a Hennessy bottle right here.
You know how? Notice how LB say he didn't know what a fifth is because he always get the big bottles. I don't know what that small shit is.
I thought a fifth would be like those small bottles, man.
He's like, I normally get a gallon. You guys fucking around with a fifth.
Man, y'all, I ain't gonna be drinking on no live stream, man. No, y'all, I don't need that. I try to keep it be professional.
Yeah, I had the block forever. My 200 subs. Because by the time
Terrence, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. God damn it. Unbelievable. Oh my God.
I gotta drop some videos to get the 5K, but I
know that motherfucker could fucking hear me, and then he says Terrence out. Unbelievable.
Terrence rude, bruh.
One planet
God
says,
damn it.
if you drink a fifth, someone else will tell you how drunk the remaining fifth was. That is so true. You're like, hey, you were doing all this shit? And you're like, well, what country am I in now? That's all I need to know.
Or you could smoke a huge blunt on camera or eat an edible.
Oh, Lord.
I don't smoke.
Like, he's in Orlando. Can you do that there?
No, but I don't smoke.
Well, like it's a snack, though. You can do a snack. Right.
I wouldn't know where to get edibles from.
Get you some
get them
edibles
at a store.
Cookies.
Go to the store.
Get you some nasty ass sugar cookies.
Bruh.
God damn it.
Oh no, shots fired about the sugar cookies.
Oh man, that was
that look.
God, this
look
guy.
at
I tell you,
that look.
Brad talking with you, Terrence.
Oh, that don't fuck with
Yo,
me.
chocolate chip gang, chocolate chip gang all day.
Go for it. Yeah.
So fucking glad that I could speak with you, Terrence. Why couldn't you just come back on and speak with your voice, you son of a bitch?
The rage.
Like there was a guy, we were watching freaking Shark After Dark, one of the episodes, and one of the guys on would not answer the questions, and I was like, Andrea, that's exactly how talking to Terrence is. You ask him a question, and he'll give you an answer, but it will have nothing to do with the question you ask.
He'll never let that go.
Hey, man. Sometimes
Cookies is like TV's new Game of Thrones. He gets triggered.
Zod, you got some rude black people on your panel, bro. Right. No wonder
talking with you, Terrence.
Well, that's why I here on the channel I incorporate diversity.
Like, bro wants me to drink a whole bottle of Hennessy, then he's talking about sugar cookies nasty. Terrence just leave. PB by. Don't ask
Do it for the gram. Do it for the gram.
I don't understand how you can say that if you take a chocolate chip cookie and exclusively remove the chocolate chips, that's nasty. That doesn't make any
That's
sense.
nasty, bro. That ain't no cookie. That's a biscuit. It's a biscuit.
That's a biscuit. What biscuit has that kind of sugar in it? What are you talking
A
about?
biscuit. Oh no.
A biscuit?
Oh my god, I
What are
almost
you fucking British?
No, but I know somebody that is.
Yeah, LD is British.
Exactly.
I'm an
You know-
American. I'm as American as you, purple minded.
Do you not? You don't have dual
Sure.
citizenship?
I do, but that's beside the point.
You stick to your sugar biscuits, and I'll eat my chocolate chip cookies. The
Oh
real,
man.
Bro, you can't even
like the
afford
real
a chocolate chip cookie, bro. You said you were broke earlier.
Hey man, I'll go get your chocolate chip cookies right now.
Ooh.
I just want to know what were those frickin' those sour frickin' licorice or whatever the heck it was in the
Oh,
picture
wow.
called snacks. What was that?
Facts, no doubt.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen those before.
Yeah, man. They sell them in Walgreens, Walmart.
Snow Dub in chat says pisses me off when I think I get a chocolate chip cookie and then I take a bite and find out it's raisin cookie.
That's nasty.
Oh,
that's bullshit.
terrible.
That's a whole prune. It's like a whole prune in your cookie.
That would be Terrence's fucking dream, though. That's his dream. He's like, oh shit, I thought it was chocolate chips, but it ended up being raisins. It was wonderful.
That really is the worst. Like, you know, when you're at an event or something, you just grab a cookie. Like, all right, can I have me a chocolate chip cookie and oatmeal? It's like, bro.
Oh, oatmeal in a cookie.
I like oatmeal.
This
That's
guy,
not the point, Zod.
fucking.
I'd be all right with that surprise.
No.
Oh,
I'll be all right with
Oh
that.
man,
Fucking
Hey, Terry.
it's about to be like peanut butter all day. Peanut butter cookies all day.
Oh,
He's
peanut
back.
butter cookies are good.
Yep.
He's
So,
back. I thought you left, bot.
well, you know, it's part of life. You know, a human is all on the bed and shit. I was like, damn. I guess I gotta come and say bye.
And people usually just don't leave people in this, not say bye or talk to you later or something. They just don't leave.
Yeah, like
I
you
said
didn't-
Terrence
you didn't
out in the chat.
Oh my god. Oh my god,
Oh.
Clyde. Why would you chase anybody 2 blocks for an oatmeal raisin cookie?
Yes, Clyde, I agree with you.
Yep,
Good
Clyde.
man.
Yep.
Good man. I'd be right behind you.
That's
We'd have
that
to fight
one.
for that oatmeal cookie.
Clyde,
Chop,
right,
No,
right.
don't
chop
lump me
that
in with
human in the
those
throat
people.
and take the cookie. Yep.
Clyde,
Oh my
Clyde,
god.
right, man. You
No, you chop him in the throat, you take the cookie, you take a bite, and then you throw the cookie on the ground and you chop him in the throat again and say, why the fuck did I chase you for 2 blocks for a fucking oatmeal raisin cookie?
No, hell no. That's some good exercise
Thank
right
you
there.
for the clarity. Thought they had chocolate chip.
It's just something about that
Oh,
chocolate chip. Man,
okay.
chocolate chip is crack. That shit is crack cocaine.
Thank you, Clyde. That makes me feel much better.
See, this is why people love these late night antics, because
Yeah, because you
we're
thought you
talking-
were gonna quit on us. You tried to quit.
no, I still am wavering on quitting them.
Don't waver. Just continue.
Y'all
Might
just
as
want
well-
me to fall asleep on stream. They're gonna look. I'm gonna be like,
Whatever.
this.
You'll just frickin' hit the button. You'll leave. You'll put up the banner that says random shit, and then life will go on, I guess.
Random shit. Him passed out.
That's funny.
Exactly. Random fucking shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man.
But yeah, thank you for having me on though.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
On, Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence, I thought I scared you away the last time we talked comics because you got yelled at.
No. Why would you scare me away?
I thought you got locked up, to be honest with you.
Because you didn't want to get yelled at again.
When black people just
No.
they in jail.
Because you said, what just happened to the background?
I just thought he was like in some type of
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
hibernation.
Squirrel, did he get the backgrounds downloaded that you sent him?
I have no clue. Hold on a second. No.
Did the general? Oh, he didn't. Motherfucker.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done all that. I don't know what the hell this is. Is
What
it a
the hell is
motivational
this
talk?
shit?
What is this?
Yes.
What the fuck is that?
It's like self-help
Nah,
shit.
Your mind is
Nah,
absolutely amazing. What the fuck is happening?
but I mean, you saw what happened, PB, last time. Like after my asshole dad was yelling, we just kept talking for a long time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, once you made it back, I had to wait for a little while. I guess you had to go like, pound a
Yeah,
little
he
sense
was
into him.
he was having some emotional problems as humans tend to do, and then I just went into a different room.
Really quick. I'm sorry. Snowed Up Music and Entertainment says, you see the Cookie Monster skit on Family Guy when he tries to quit and gets caught trying to cook raw cookie dough on a spoon in a
That's
bathroom
me.
stall.
That's me. Chocolate chip
Oh.
cookies is that shit. Like that shit's crack. Don't try to touch my cookies, yo. You're gonna get smacked.
Bro, you still talking about cookies, bro?
I'll
Yes.
steal all your cookies.
No. You will not steal my pot of gold. Leprechaun.
Mm.
That's deep.
That was profound.
So why you got this background? Is that because you're using the free StreamYard?
Yeah, why don't you have the background that Mad Squirrel sent you?
Child training.
Because I still can't get into my email.
Why? It's been days, guy.
Reset your password, man.
It's been days.
It's a big mess.
Well, do you have
I've
an
sent you
email you
many
can't get
important
into?
emails. Do you have any idea the emails I've sent you over the last 2 days? These are
Okay.
important emails that are time sensitive.
No, I get those because those are to my Siler email, but the one that I need is to my Binar email.
Dude,
Yeah,
send me
that's
the
the one I
email
sent
can
him
send
to.
you.
Huh?
Send me an email address that I can actually send things to. And
Oh
you can
my
see them.
god. Oh my god. You sent. Oh my god. This guy. He sent
Oh,
you
God.
one email address that he can't get into, but he can get into a separate email address, but he didn't want to give you that one?
No. I could get into the other one, but then something happened, and then it was linked to a different cell phone number, so I couldn't use the code to get an activation code to reset my password.
Okay,
So
Dr.
then I
Doom,
called.
can you send me the
Oh
other
my
email?
god.
Send me the other email. Mother of God. I'm going to call you Dr. Doom. Hey,
I'm sitting here listening, like you keep asking him for the email, and he's just talking about everything.
yeah, whatever email you can get into, just let me know what that email is so I can send you
Oh my god.
the stuff.
Like,
So that way you can mess with
you
it and
just-
tell me what you want me to change. I want to see how it looks and then how I can adjust it, for different things.
Yeah, that's,
Yep, sometimes
oh
in
my
life.
god.
Facts.
Yes.
Oh shit. Oh, Jesus.
How many emails do you have total?
I don't know, like 3.
How many can you access? One?
Yes.
So you decided to give her what the fuck, man? I'm
It used to
fucking
be
trying
2.
here.
Like, this is what I think
Holy
of your
shit.
backgrounds. Enjoy my email I can't access.
I mean, the whole point is
I'm giving you shit.
she wants to make like a bunch of different backgrounds that fit with how many different boxes are on the screen.
Yeah, I just want to see how it looks first before you know what I mean? So that way I can make the right adjustments and shit. Which I've been taking screenshots of different, just how many people we have in there and what it looks like. That way, when I do it.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just glad that he's repping the duck tonight.
Quackers.
Quackers? That's absolutely
Ducks
quackers.
fly together.
Yeah, that could be the duck's name, Quackers. You got a fly in
Snow Dome burned one, and it
personal
still doesn't
space?
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I burned fucking 5, and it don't make sense.
Hmm. Okay.
He's talking about you, Zod, and your lack of like proper emailage. I don't even know what to call it. I didn't realize that's what the problem
Squirrel,
was.
I got it. I figured out the problem.
Oh my god.
You mean you got in?
Yeah,
So you have them? You have the pictures now.
that's one.
Holy shit.
That's dope.
Oh my
That's
god.
dope.
Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. It was this easy?
Oh my what? Oh my
Sometimes in
god.
life.
Unbelievable.
Stop that.
Unbelievable.
That's
Yep,
Terrence's
sometimes in
line.
life.
Damn it.
Stop stealing lines, man. I don't know what designation Terrence has yet.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's like a PIA, like pain in ass.
Aw. He's giving everybody rolls on the bridge.
Can only say what his favorite cookie is to an Australian.
Yeah, you're still on that PB. What in the world?
He's never gonna let you hold that down, bro.
Hashtag
That
never
shit
forget.
Hashtag that shit is old as fuck.
Okay, so that was the one I got, and it worked. I was able to download it. So that's the only one I have in my email currently.
Oh my god.
You only have one?
Yeah, I only have one.
Okay.
It says late night backgrounds. If you sent me another one, I don't have it.
That's a moon. Is there anything else in this picture?
Okay, let me take a look.
Or is it just the moon with the words at the bottom?
Just the moon with the words on the bottom.
Okay.
And then I had made 2 other ones, but I guess I'll
didn't know
send them
if we
again.
were blocking anything with our blocks on the screen.
No, I just want to see what it because I changed it, so I removed like the owl and I just made it simple, just with the bottom. I just moved things around on that one just to see measurements.
What does the owl look like if it's the size of the letters?
Well, it starts to kind of lose its appearance, but I want to see like sizing wise because I've been taking screenshots of some of the screens when we have multiple boxes up and things like that just to get an idea of how to like do the layout properly. Because
I just
sometimes
look
in life.
forward to the day where Herp and Terrence aren't white circles.
Oh, I got a response back from. They're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Dude, we know that already. Squirrel told us.
They definitely need to make an app for this, because my phone be getting way too hot with
Dude,
this.
how did they not? They must have made like $1 million over the weekend, right?
I just sent you 2 more, Lee.
If Zod paid for it, who else paid for it? Oh gosh, what is?
Oh, okay.
Zod sucks.
I was not expecting that.
Oh my!
What is going on? Oh. Son of a bitch.
He didn't know where to look either. That was awesome. Hashtag email problems. That's not a problem that you have. That's a problem that Terrence is supposed to have.
Yeah, that one board that looks pretty good. That's one background. I sent you 2 more, so you should have those.
Put the other 2 in, Zod.
Well, I don't know. Have you gotten them yet? I don't know.
Yeah. He got them. The speed of light from Texas to Wisconsin is not that long.
Oh man.
Like it's faster than Zod.
Oh my.
I will cut you.
Oh my.
Yo, this shit is getting violent. Yep.
Well, that's right up your alley, Terrence.
So if Matt Squirrel,
I am a kind young man.
If Matt Squirrel sends an email to Terrence and Zod at the same time, she CCs Terrence. Who will get to the email first?
Me.
That sounds like one of those SAT questions.
Probably
yeah, exactly.
Terrence, honestly.
Oh.
Love that one.
Which one is that one? The red. Hold on, I'm on another screen. Oh, yeah.
That's got that
go back one.
Feng shui to it.
That one came out good. I'm not pleased with the stamp, but at least okay, I'm getting a better idea.
You-
I like
Yeah,
the
that
Wait, what are
red
you
is
not?
that
What are
red
you
is
not
cool.
pleased
Yeah,
with?
I
Wait,
like
go
that
back.
one.
No, go back to the one with the words. What are you not pleased with?
Well, I guess it's not that bad. At first glance, I'm not thrilled with how the background isn't. I don't know what I was looking for originally, but I just wanted it
You
to have a
you,
nice
you don't
look or
want
pattern.
that little bit of black at the top and bottom.
No, it's the design itself that was kind of fuzzy. So I'm gonna look at
Oh,
it.
I get what. Okay,
I
okay.
could probably define it better.
Do you have any
Um,
with women and boobs in the for background?
I think I have. I think
Yeah,
I have
movie.
some
I know.
pinup girls.
I,
But
I know. I know how
I know
much
what you're
you love
saying.
those.
Bless your heart.
is there like they got to be positioned properly though,
Oh, well, they're like. I think they're just
which
pinup
means
girls.
their heads are going to be behind the
No.
boxes.
Wink,
No
wink.
lopsided titties.
Lopsided titties. The ones that are look like
It'll
fucking
have to
dog
say
eyes.
General Zod at the
Dog ears.
top, and the bottom will be
No
covered with
nipple having.
cleavage.
Scared
Okay,
them.
I'm looking above Zod's head, and if
Mhm.
you look like right above his upper right corner, does that kind of look like a swastika?
Mhm.
A little bit.
Okay.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah, it's that design. Well, first off, obviously it's not a swastika. Well, damn.
Obviously, it's
You might want to
not.
switch back to
It's-
the other one. How about that? It's
I
a
mean,
nice
it's
design, though.
obviously not. It's not tilted another 45 degrees.
Oh,
Right.
that shit does look.
And
Yep.
I mean, Nazis don't like, or Buccaneers don't associate with Nazis.
That's true. Yeah.
So
Man, Nazis ruin everything, dude. Like, let's go to Asia and steal their shit.
Hey,
yeah,
I like
they did more,
I do too. I don't know why they're jacking
but
everybody's
not
shit.
the Indians. Can't cast an Indian guy to be an Eternal.
Fuck them.
God, what the hell?
Yeah, that ain't supposed to happen.
What's wrong with Indians?
They don't know karate. And Chinese
supposed to be a
people definitely
Japanese
do,
guy.
because if you cast a Chinese guy, he'll know karate, guaranteed. And you won't have to train him at all, because they're actors. Right, Zod? See? He fucking thumbs up.
Snow Dub's like, how many times has Zod been kicked in the head asking for a friend? And then General Zod responds, a few. Oh, God.
Oh, that's for sure. Why
But I
can't
never
they
got
cast an
knocked out.
Indian guy?
It wasn't a
That's what's up.
fucking Indian guy because they're too busy.
What do you mean it
fucking
wasn't an
not
Indian
eating
guy?
cows.
God, you're so
I
bitter.
mean, you didn't have a problem with a black lady being Valkyrie.
Mm.
I didn't care either way for Valkyrie.
No, that's my point. You don't care about this freaking Chinese guy either.
No,
So all you need to
I
be
like-
worried about is you better hope that Shang-Chi is a good movie.
It will be.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Black Panther's trash.
It is. I don't have my banner.
I mean,
but
oh,
Shang-Chi better be the greatest movie of all time, bruh.
Right.
It will be.
Because if it ain't, woo! You thought my Aquaman review was good.
That's true. And they'll find a way.
What the fuck?
What? What the fuck's going on?
okay, don't hit the
Oh my
refresh
God.
button on your browser. It
I just
will
saw-
kick you out.
This is what happens when I look away from the stream. There's gonna be captions.
See,
up
now
now.
this is what these three black men are associated with now.
Bro, you
See
better
that,
hope
Terrence?
Shang-Chi
Black Panther is
amazing.
trash. Why? Zod is not Indian or Asian or Oriental.
Or Aboriginal.
He's like Italian butter.
Italian butter.
He's like 50% Italian, 50% butter.
Wait, yo, Zach, can you say that Milo?
Wait a second. Where are we located on the screen? Okay, I am below him on the screen. You got to point your finger slightly downward, you putz.
What was it you were going to ask him for?
I forgot.
Something about Milo. What's Milo's last name? I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I
What's
just call him
Milo's
Butch.
last name?
I just call him Butch Magnus Milosevic. That's the first thing that comes to my
You
mind.
remember Milo's last name, Zod, from yesterday?
Certainly do.
That's, I mean,
I like how quiet it got. And...
Something like Belafonte or some shit. Was it?
Yeah, you know what he said.
Sometimes in life.
Yeah, sometimes in life.
Oh my god.
All right. For real, we're gonna bring this to an end. Everybody, starting with LB, plug the channels. Go LB. It's all up to you.
can't you feature him when he plugs his channel? Isn't there a way to do that?
Oh no, I got it.
Go ahead.
That's not exactly what I meant, but okay, cool.
All up
You
in
know,
my
in my face, like.
I like it.
I'm LB. Thank you, General Zod, for having me on your channel. I have a YouTube channel by the name of The Lonely Banter, and I'm just a lonely man that talks to the camera. If you're interested in videos about anything I feel like talking about, go ahead and check it out. If not, you can go check the other black guys. They might be cooler than me.
Awesome. Go ahead, Mad Squirrel.
Mad Squirrel's not black or a guy. She's a squirrel.
Oh my god. Fucking villains.
You can find me on YouTube under Mad Squirrel. And you can find me on YouTube or fucking Twitter under SGT Mad Squirrel. You can find my YouTube link there too. And I'm still working on my video because I had a bunch of stuff to redo, but I should have it out shortly. So that's about it.
Awesome. And go ahead, Perp.
This Perp. And no, I'm not lonely. The Lonely Banter, nor am I Sean Stackhouse. But I'm a man of purple, and it was dope being here once again. It's dope to see Terrence. It's been like 2 months.
Yeah, man, you locked up.
It's been a solid 2 months.
Yeah. Dope stream, and hopefully I'll be back next time, most likely. Till next time.
Alrighty. And
That's what happens when you get sentenced to 60 days.
Terrence, go ahead and introduce yourself to fine people.
Introduce.
Oh, yep. Yep, how's it going, humans? My name is Terrence. It's been a little while since I've been talking to these fine individuals, and I'm happy to be here. And thank you, Squirrel, for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Not at all.
And I appreciate all of you because, you know, you guys were thinking about me, and I always enjoy our conversations.
I hope you beat that aggravated assault charge, man. I really do.
Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I was,
Yeah, what?
yeah, sometimes in life.
And of course, the curator, the commander, and all that other happy shit I say. Go ahead.
Oh my god.
Latest,
What a lead in. Jesus Christ. What a dick.
Oh, look, it came up so fast.
I think he's still. So, how many of those can you save at a time?
I don't know. I haven't reached my limit yet, but I got a bunch of them.
Okay, interesting. Yep. I'm PB. You can find me at Pop Culture PB on YouTube and on Twitter. I talk about Marvel and Star Wars and Game of Thrones. So that's the last video I did. I wish I could remember what the title was, because I forgot. Oh yeah, it was Game of Thrones Gets Dumber and Dumber. or Dumb and Dumber. Because it does. The more we learn about season 8, it just got worse and worse. Sorry, LB.
I wasn't listening. Continue.
You want some Galaxy Edge passes?
Yep.
All right. And of
Well, that
course,
was it. Now we got to switch back to this monkey with butter in his hair.
welcome everybody. It has been I, General Zod.
Welcome to the Fandom Zone. You're looking at General Zod.
Thank you for coming out today. Tomorrow, I'm going to construct some videos on the clips that I saw from It Chapter 2 and put some out. Give you my thoughts and feelings on the things I was privy to. I shot some footage that's totally legal.
And then you're gonna do
So-
his trash video.
No. Terminator is the most groundbreaking landmark film.
Oh,
was
you're so
responsible
full of shit. It ain't
for
groundbreaking
T2.
or landmark shit. Ain't nobody remember it because of T2. You remember T2 because of T2. You're ridiculous, but whatever.
Oh my god, I'm not getting into this right now. You son of a bitch. Anyways, yeah, so thank you everybody for coming. We'll be having another late night. Don't forget, on Mondays we do the shilling. This shilling, I think I'm going to go back to some people I haven't been on in a while. IGN. Love those guys.
What is that
So-
popping noise?
Somebody was stabbed.
Yep, that's me stabbing Brie Larson.
It sounds like somebody stabbing styrofoam.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Anyways, thank you everybody, and as always, here on the Fandom Zone, remember the golden rule that we have set up here. Hold on.
Be sure to get your Ovaltine.
Hold on. I gotta type up a banner because I didn't have anybody say something in the meantime while I type. Oh, I ran out of
Watch
words.
more anime.
Whoops. Damn it!
We're the golden rule. We are on the channel. Yeah. Before stop.
No.
Fist
Never.
pump, man. Fist pump every time.
Fucking fist bump.